Most people drift through life without ever stopping to truly question themselves. They follow preset paths, chase external validation, and avoid discomfort at all costs, unaware that their very avoidance is what keeps them ordinary. But a rare few, live differently. They look beyond comfort, beyond convention, and beyond the expectations of society. They step into a deeper journey, one that transforms them from passive observers into masters of their own fate. These people understand a crucial truth. Greatness isn't about luck or circumstance, but about principles, decisions, and mindsets. Principles that have been taught, tested, and refined by some of the greatest minds humanity has ever known. At the heart of this journey stands Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor who guided Rome not through mere power, but through wisdom and discipline. Aurelius taught that the key to mastering life isn't found in controlling external circumstances, it's found in mastering your inner world. It's about shaping your character, facing your fears, and living each day guided by virtue and purpose. His timeless teachings remind us that true power lies not in what happens to us, but in our reaction to it. Across oceans and cultures, Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary swordsman, embodied the ideal of mastery through relentless discipline and self-knowledge. Musashi's life was marked by solitude, self-reflection, and relentless pursuit of excellence both in combat and in spirit. His philosophy cuts through illusions, urging us to confront our deepest truths. To Musashi, self-mastery was a lifetime pursuit, achieved only through daily practice, humility, and rigorous self-examination. He shows us that mastery isn't a goal, but a way of life, a continuous sharpening of the self through mindful action. Then there is Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher who dared us to find strength within suffering itself. Nietzsche rejected the modern obsession with comfort, ease, and avoidance of pain, arguing instead that our hardships are the very foundation of exceptional character. To Nietzsche, suffering is not merely something to endure, it is something to embrace. Pain, struggle, and discomfort are essential ingredients for becoming extraordinary. He reveals the counterintuitive truth. It's not the easy path that forges greatness, but the difficult one, the one that tests us deeply and shapes us profoundly. Together, these thinkers offer a powerful blueprint for living a life that is exceptional, authentic, and deeply fulfilling. Their wisdom transcends the boundaries of history and culture, speaking directly to the core of what it means to live fully, bravely, and intentionally. But make no mistake, to master life according to their teachings is not an easy path. It demands honesty, courage, discipline, and resilience. It asks you to step beyond your comfort zone, confront your fears, and take responsibility for every aspect of your existence. Yet, the rewards are immeasurable. To master life in this way is to find freedom, not the superficial freedom promised by external successes, but the deep, abiding freedom of knowing yourself, accepting yourself, and continually striving toward the highest possible expression of who you can become. This is the ultimate guide to mastering life, illuminated by the wisdom of Aurelius, Musashi, and Nietzsche. It's a call to action, a challenge to become more, and an invitation to live a life not defined by circumstances, but by your unshakable commitment to growth and greatness. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. Seneca. In the grand theater of life, where uncertainties and challenges constantly surround us, the pursuit of an extraordinary existence often seems like a daunting, almost Herculean task. Yet, amidst the chaos and the noise, there lies a philosophy, time-tested and resilient, offering us a blueprint to not just endure, but thrive. This philosophy is Stoicism, an ancient Greek school of thought that has been the bedrock of resilience, wisdom, and inner peace for countless individuals through history. Today we embark on a journey, not just any journey, but one that delves deep into the heart of what it means to live an extraordinary life, guided by the profound lessons of some of the most famous Stoic philosophers. Stoicism, a philosophy that dates back to the early 3rd century BC, is more than just a set of beliefs or ethical claims. It's a way of life. It teaches the development of self-control and fortitude as a means of overcoming destructive emotions. The philosophy asserts that virtue, such as wisdom, is happiness, and judgment should be based on behavior rather than words. That we don't control and cannot rely on external events, only ourselves and our responses. But why does this ancient philosophy matter in our modern world? In an age where the pursuit of external success often leaves us feeling empty and unfulfilled, Stoicism brings us back to the core of what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our perception of the world. It's about finding tranquility in a world we cannot control, focusing on self-improvement instead of material wealth, and developing resilience in the face of adversity. In essence, this philosophy equips us with the tools to lead a meaningful and extraordinary life. We will explore 7 pivotal lessons from some of the most renowned Stoic philosophers. Each section will unveil a key principle of this philosophy, accompanied by practical advice on how we can apply these lessons to our daily lives. Our journey will take us through the teachings of Zeno of Citium, who laid the foundation of Stoicism, to the powerful insights of Marcus Aurelius, whose meditations provide a timeless guide to living with grace and purpose. We will learn from Seneca about the power of resilience, and from Epictetus about the art of distinguishing between what we can control and what we cannot. Musonius Rufus will teach us about the role of discipline, and Chrysippus will offer a deeper understanding of the nature of our emotions. Each philosopher brings a unique perspective, yet their teachings converge on a common path, the path to becoming extraordinary. This is not about becoming extraordinary in the eyes of the world, but extraordinary in our capacity to face life's challenges, to remain steadfast in our values, and to cultivate inner peace and strength. As we delve into these lessons, we will uncover the timeless relevance of Stoic philosophy. You will see how these ancient principles have been echoed in modern psychology, self-help movements, and even in the business world. We will explore how the Stoic practice of mindfulness and emotional regulation can enhance our mental health and overall well-being. And perhaps most importantly, we will discover how the pursuit of virtue, as advocated by the Stoics, can lead to a life of fulfillment and meaning. This journey is not just about learning, it's about transformation. It's about taking the wisdom of the past and using it to create a better, more extraordinary future for ourselves. As we explore each lesson, I encourage you to reflect on how these teachings resonate with your own life experiences. Think about the challenges you face, the values you hold dear, and the kind of life you wish to lead. Remember, the path to becoming extraordinary is not a destination, it's a process. It's a continuous journey of self-discovery, self-improvement, and self-mastery, and it starts with understanding and applying the profound lessons of Stoicism. So let us embark on this journey together. Let us explore, learn, and grow. Let us find inspiration in the wisdom of the Stoics and use it to forge our path to an extraordinary life. As we embark on this philosophical odyssey, our first stop is with Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism. Born in Cyprus in the 3rd century BC, Zeno's journey to Stoicism began with a shipwreck that left him stranded in Athens. It was there, amidst the ruins of his material possessions, that he discovered the true wealth of philosophy. His teachings, which later crystallized into Stoicism, were not born out of academic pondering but out of real-life challenges and the quest for a meaningful life. Zeno's philosophy was encapsulated in his famous quote, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing." This profound statement is a testament to the Stoic belief in gradual, consistent progress towards a virtuous life. He didn't advocate for overnight transformation or grandiose displays of wisdom. Instead, he championed the idea of small daily acts of virtue that accumulate over time, leading to significant personal growth and well-being. At the heart of his teachings were foundational principles that would shape Stoicism. The first of these is living in agreement with nature. For him, this meant recognizing and aligning oneself with the natural order of the world and understanding our place within it. It was about accepting the flow of life and finding our unique role in the larger tapestry of existence. This alignment with nature is not just about environmental awareness, but about understanding the natural state of human beings, rational social creatures capable of virtue. Virtue, indeed, was the cornerstone of his philosophy. He posited that virtue is the highest good and that all other things like wealth, health, and even life itself are indifferent. This doesn't mean that these things are unimportant, but rather that they are not good in themselves. They only become good when used virtuously. In his view, a life of virtue is a life in harmony with reason, and it is this harmony that leads to true happiness. So how can we apply Zeno's teachings in our modern lives? The first step is embracing simplicity. In a world where consumerism and materialism often overwhelm us, returning to simplicity can be a radical act of Stoic practice. This doesn't necessarily mean living a Spartan life, but rather focusing on what truly matters, our values, relationships, and personal growth, and letting go of unnecessary excesses. Aligning our actions with our core values is another practical application of his teachings. This involves a deep introspection to understand what we truly value and then ensuring that our daily actions reflect these values. It's about being authentic and living a life that is congruent with our beliefs and principles. This alignment brings a sense of peace and integrity, as there is no conflict between what we do and what we believe in. Lastly, practicing mindfulness is a key aspect of living in agreement with nature and virtue. Mindfulness in the Stoic sense is about being fully present in the moment, aware of ourselves and our environment, and acting with intention and reason. It's about being conscious of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and how they align with the natural order and our pursuit of virtue. Mindfulness allows us to respond to life's challenges with clarity and equanimity, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. Zeno of Citium's teachings offer us a powerful framework for living an extraordinary life. By embracing simplicity, aligning our actions with our core values, and practicing mindfulness, we can embark on the path of small, consistent steps towards well-being and virtue. As we integrate these practices into our daily lives, we gradually transform ourselves not just into individuals who endure life's vicissitudes, but into those who thrive in the face of them, grounded in wisdom and inner peace. Lesson 2. Embracing impermanence. As we continue our journey through the wisdom of Stoicism, we encounter Marcus Aurelius, a figure who embodies the Stoic ideal like few others. Aurelius, known as the Philosopher King, was not only a Roman emperor but also a devout Stoic philosopher. His reign was marked by wisdom and virtue in the face of relentless challenges, including war, plague, and political turmoil. His personal writings, collected in Meditations, provide a window into the soul of a man who sought tranquility in tumultuous times. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This stark reminder of life's impermanence is a central theme in his philosophy. It's a call to live with urgency, not in fear of death, but with the realization that every moment is precious and finite. He saw life as a fleeting opportunity to practice virtue and contribute positively to the world. His views on impermanence and accepting change are particularly relevant in our modern era, where change is constant and often overwhelming. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that change is not just an inevitable part of life, but an essential one. It is through change that we experience growth, learn new things, and have the opportunity to test and apply our virtues. He encourages us to embrace change, not resist it, and to see it as a natural process that is integral to the fabric of the universe. One practical way to embrace this philosophy is by keeping a journal, a practice he himself diligently followed. Journaling allows us to reflect on our daily experiences, our reactions to change, and our progress in living according to Stoic principles. It's a tool for self-reflection and self-improvement, providing a space to process thoughts and emotions, set intentions, and track our growth over time. Through journaling, we can gain clarity, find inner peace, and strengthen our Stoic practice. Reflecting on change as a natural process is another practical tip we can learn from Aurelius. This involves shifting our perspective on change from seeing it as a disruption or a source of fear to viewing it as a natural, inevitable part of life. By understanding that everything is in a constant state of flux, we can reduce our resistance to change and increase our adaptability and resilience. This perspective helps us to cope with life's uncertainties and to find stability within ourselves, regardless of external circumstances. Focusing on the present is perhaps the most crucial lesson we can take from Marcus Aurelius. In a world where we are often distracted by the past and anxious about the future, he reminds us that the present moment is all we truly have. He urges us to give our full attention and effort to the here and now, to act virtuously and make the most of the current moment. By being fully present, we can engage more deeply with life, appreciate the small joys and wonders around us, and respond to challenges with clarity and composure. His teachings on embracing impermanence and accepting change are not just philosophical concepts, they are practical tools for living a more fulfilled and meaningful life. By keeping a journal, reflecting on change as a natural process, and focusing on the present, we can cultivate a mindset that is resilient, adaptable, and deeply engaged with the world. In doing so, we honor the legacy of Aurelius and take a significant step towards becoming extraordinary in our own right. Lesson 3. The power of resilience. In the tapestry of Stoic philosophy, Seneca stands out as a figure of immense wisdom and practicality. Lucius Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, statesman, and playwright, served as an advisor to Emperor Nero. Despite his tumultuous life, which eventually led to his forced suicide, his writings remain a beacon of insight on how to live a virtuous and resilient life. Seneca once said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." This powerful statement encapsulates his approach to hardship and resilience. He viewed life's challenges not as misfortunes, but as opportunities for growth and strengthening of character. He believed that just as physical exercise strengthens the body, mental and emotional challenges fortify the mind and spirit. Exploring his teachings on resilience, we find a philosophy deeply relevant to our contemporary struggles. In a world where adversity and stress are often constant companions, understanding how to transform hardship into a source of strength is invaluable. He teaches us that our reaction to adversity is what truly defines the experience. It's not the event itself, but our response to it that matters. One practical application of Seneca's teachings is the art of reframing challenges as opportunities. This involves a shift in perspective, where instead of viewing difficult situations as obstacles, we see them as chances to practice virtue, to learn, and to grow. For instance, a professional setback can be seen as an opportunity to reassess our career path, to develop new skills, or to strengthen our resilience. By reframing challenges in this way, we not only cope with difficulties more effectively, but also extract value and wisdom from them. Practicing gratitude is another powerful tool Seneca offers. In the midst of hardship, it can be easy to overlook the positive aspects of our lives. However, by consciously acknowledging and appreciating what we have, be it good health, supportive relationships, or even small daily pleasures, we can cultivate a sense of contentment and resilience. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we possess, fostering a mindset of abundance and resilience. It's about finding light even in dark times, a principle that was central to his philosophy. Developing mental fortitude is perhaps the most crucial aspect of his teachings on resilience. This involves building a strong and stable mind that can withstand life's vicissitudes. Mental fortitude, according to Seneca, is cultivated through self-discipline, reflection, and an unwavering commitment to Stoic principles. It's about training the mind to remain calm and rational in the face of adversity, to maintain perspective, and to stay anchored in our values and virtues. This mental fortitude is not innate. It is developed through consistent practice and the conscious application of Stoic wisdom. His life and teachings provide a roadmap for building resilience in the face of hardship. By reframing challenges as opportunities, practicing gratitude, and developing mental fortitude, we can not only endure life's trials, but emerge from them stronger and wiser. These practices empower us to face adversity with courage and equanimity, turning what could be our greatest setbacks into our most profound sources of growth and self-discovery. In embracing Seneca's lessons, we find the tools to build a life not free from challenges, but one in which challenges become the catalyst for personal development and transformation. This approach to resilience is not about denying or avoiding hardship, but about engaging with it constructively and courageously. It's about recognizing that in the crucible of difficulty, the most extraordinary aspects of our character are forged. As we integrate this profound wisdom into our lives, we realize that resilience is not a destination, but a journey. It's a continuous process of adapting, learning, and growing, no matter what life throws our way. By adopting a Stoic approach to resilience, we equip ourselves with the strength and flexibility to navigate life's complexities with grace and fortitude, turning every obstacle into a stepping stone on the path to an extraordinary life. Lesson 4. Control and Choice. Our exploration of Stoic wisdom brings us to Epictetus, a figure whose life story embodies the very essence of Stoic resilience and strength. Born into slavery in the Roman Empire, Epictetus endured a life of hardship and limitation. However, his spirit remained unbroken, and he later gained his freedom, becoming an influential Stoic teacher. His teachings, compiled in the Discourses and the Enchiridion, offer profound insights into the nature of human existence and the path to tranquility. He is perhaps best known for his clear distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. He famously said, "Some things are in our control and others not." This simple yet profound principle lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. According to him, Things like our property, reputation, and even our bodies are ultimately outside our complete control and are therefore indifferent. What truly matters, and what we do have control over, are our inner choices, judgments, and reactions. This distinction is crucial in our modern lives, where we often expend tremendous energy and stress over external events. Epictetus teaches us to redirect our focus and energy towards what we can actually influence, our internal world. By understanding and internalizing this distinction, we can find peace and resilience in the face of life's uncertainties and challenges. One practical application of Epictetus's teachings is focusing on personal reactions and choices. This involves taking responsibility for our responses to external events, rather than blaming circumstances or other people. For example, if we face a professional setback, instead of succumbing to frustration or despair, we can choose to respond with determination and creativity. This shift in focus empowers us as we realize that our inner world is the domain of our true power. Practicing mindfulness is another key aspect of his philosophy. Mindfulness in this context means being fully aware of our thoughts, emotions, and reactions in the present moment. It's about observing our internal landscape without judgment and choosing our responses with intention. By practicing mindfulness, we can catch ourselves when we start to worry about things outside our control and gently guide our focus back to what we can influence. This practice not only enhances our emotional well-being, but also strengthens our ability to live according to Stoic principles. Letting go of external outcomes is perhaps one of the most challenging yet liberating teachings of Epictetus. In a world where we are often judged by external achievements, detaching from outcomes can seem counterintuitive. However, he reminds us that true freedom and tranquility come from within, not from external conditions. By letting go of our attachment to specific outcomes, we open ourselves to a life of flexibility, adaptability, and inner peace. We learn to put forth our best effort without being overly attached to the results, trusting that whatever happens, we have the inner resources to handle it. His teachings on control and choice offer a powerful framework for navigating life with wisdom and equanimity. By focusing on our personal reactions and choices, practicing mindfulness and letting go of external outcomes, we cultivate a strong inner core that remains stable and serene, regardless of external circumstances. This approach does not mean passivity or indifference. Rather, it is an active engagement with life from a place of inner strength and autonomy. In embracing the lessons of Epictetus, we learn to distinguish between the ebb and flow of external events and the steady current of our inner choices and attitudes. This distinction is the key to unlocking a life of true freedom and tranquility, where our happiness and peace are not contingent on the whims of fate, but are firmly rooted in the realm of our control. As we integrate these practices into our daily lives, we become masters of ourselves, capable of facing life's vicissitudes with grace, courage, and a deep sense of empowerment. Lesson 5. The role of discipline. As we delve deeper into the Stoic tradition, we encounter Musonius Rufus, a figure often overshadowed by his more famous Stoic contemporaries, yet equally influential in his teachings. Rufus, a Roman philosopher, is known as the Roman Socrates for his emphasis on ethical living and the practical application of philosophy. His teachings, though less documented than those of Seneca or Epictetus, offer profound insights into the Stoic way of life. Musonius Rufus once stated, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." This statement reflects the Stoic emphasis on critical thinking and self-examination. His teachings focus heavily on the role of discipline as a key component of Stoic living. For Rufus, discipline was not merely a personal virtue, but the foundation upon which a virtuous life is built. He believed that without discipline, it is impossible to live according to the principles of Stoicism and achieve true happiness. His emphasis on discipline is particularly relevant in our modern context, where distractions are constant and instant gratification is often the norm. In a world that frequently values short-term pleasures over long-term well-being, Rufus's teachings remind us of the importance of self-control and the pursuit of enduring values. One practical way to incorporate his teachings into our lives is by establishing daily routines. Routines provide structure and order, creating a framework within which we can practice Stoic virtues. A daily routine might include time for reflection, exercise, study, and engaging in meaningful work. By adhering to a routine, we cultivate discipline, ensuring that our actions are aligned with our values and goals. This consistency is crucial for personal development and helps us to remain focused and resilient in the face of life's challenges. Practicing self-control is another key aspect of Rufus's teachings. In the Stoic view, self-control is not about denying oneself all pleasures, but about choosing pleasures that are in alignment with our values and that contribute to our well-being. It involves managing our impulses and desires, making conscious choices rather than being led by fleeting emotions or external influences. Practicing self-control helps us to resist temptations that may lead us away from our chosen path and to remain steadfast in our pursuit of a virtuous life. Prioritizing essential over non-essential pleasures is also a crucial lesson from Rufus. In a society where consumerism and materialism are rampant, distinguishing between what is truly necessary and beneficial for our well-being and what is superfluous is vital. Rufus encourages us to focus on pleasures that enrich our lives and contribute to our growth, such as the joy of learning, the satisfaction of hard work, and the contentment that comes from healthy relationships. By prioritizing these essential pleasures, we cultivate a life of meaning and purpose, free from the empty pursuit of external validations and material possessions. Musonius Rufus's teachings on discipline offer a powerful antidote to the distractions and excesses of modern life. By establishing daily routines, practicing self-control, and prioritizing essential pleasures, we can cultivate a disciplined life that is in harmony with Stoic principles. This disciplined approach to living enables us to focus on what truly matters, to develop our character, and to achieve a sense of tranquility and fulfillment. In embracing the lessons of Musonius Rufus, we recognize that discipline is not a restriction, but a liberation. It frees us from the tyranny of uncontrolled desires and impulses, allowing us to live with intention and purpose. Through discipline, we gain the freedom to pursue a life of virtue, to realize our potential, and to contribute meaningfully to the world around us. As we integrate these practices into our daily lives, we embody the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature and reason, paving the way for a life that is not only successful in the conventional sense, but deeply rewarding and enriching. Lesson 6. Understanding the nature of emotions. In our exploration of Stoic wisdom, we now turn to Chrysippus, a philosopher whose contributions were pivotal in shaping the Stoic school of thought. Chrysippus, who succeeded Cleanthes as the head of the Stoic school, was a prolific writer and thinker, deeply influential in developing the intellectual underpinnings of Stoicism. His work significantly elaborated on the nature of emotions and their role in human life. His philosophy is encapsulated in his powerful assertion, "No one is free who is not master of himself." This statement underscores the Stoic belief in the importance of self-mastery, particularly over our emotions. He did not advocate for the suppression of emotions. Rather, he emphasized understanding them and managing them in a way that aligns with reason and virtue. His teachings on emotions are incredibly relevant in today's world, where emotional reactions often dictate personal and collective decisions. In a culture that sometimes glorifies unbridled emotional expression, he offers a different perspective. Emotions are not to be feared or unleashed without restraint, but understood, managed, and aligned with our rational nature. One practical application of Chrysippus' teachings is the development of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence involves being aware of and understanding our emotions as well as the emotions of others. It means recognizing the triggers of emotional responses and understanding their impact on our thoughts and actions. By developing emotional intelligence, we can navigate our emotional landscape with greater clarity and make decisions that are not solely based on fleeting feelings, but are grounded in rational thought and aligned with our values. Responding rather than reacting is a key lesson from Chrysippus. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to react impulsively to situations, driven by our immediate emotions. However, he teaches us the value of pausing, reflecting, and choosing our response. This doesn't mean being emotionless or indifferent. Rather, it's about acknowledging our emotions and then choosing a response that is in line with our rational judgment and virtues. By responding rather than reacting, we exercise control over our inner world and act in a way that is consistent with our principles and goals. Chrysippus' teachings on the nature of emotions offer a powerful framework for emotional resilience and self-mastery. By developing emotional intelligence, practicing reflective meditation, and choosing to respond rather than react, we can navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity and wisdom. These practices enable us to manage our emotions effectively, ensuring that they serve us rather than control us. In embracing the wisdom of this great Stoic, we learn that true freedom comes from within. It is the freedom to choose our response to the world around us, the freedom to align our emotions with reason, and the freedom to live in accordance with our deepest values. As we integrate these lessons into our lives, we become masters of ourselves, capable of facing life's vicissitudes with a balanced mind and a steady heart. This mastery over our emotions is not just a path to personal tranquility and well-being, it is a cornerstone of living an extraordinary life, guided by the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy. As we draw our exploration of Stoic wisdom to a close, let us reflect on the profound lessons imparted by these great philosophers. From Marcus Aurelius, we learnt the art of embracing impermanence, understanding that life's fleeting nature should inspire us to live with purpose and urgency. His teachings remind us to cherish each moment, to focus on what truly matters, and to accept the natural flow of life with grace. Seneca, with his powerful insights on resilience, taught us to view difficulties not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth and strengthening of character. His wisdom encourages us to reframe our challenges, practice gratitude, and develop a fortitude that remains unshaken by life's storms. Epictetus, with his clear distinction between what we can control and what we cannot, offers a blueprint for inner peace and empowerment. He guides us to focus on our reactions and choices, to practice mindfulness, and to let go of our attachment to external outcomes. As we embark on the path to becoming extraordinary, it is important to remember that the journey is one of small steps. incorporating Stoic practices into our daily routines does not require monumental changes. Rather, it is about making consistent incremental adjustments to our mindset and actions. It's about choosing each day to respond to life's challenges with wisdom, to align our actions with our values, and to cultivate inner strength and tranquility. The journey to becoming extraordinary through Stoic wisdom is not a linear path. It is a continuous process of learning, growing, and evolving. It is about embracing life in all its complexity, finding joy and meaning in the midst of challenges, and developing a character that is resilient, virtuous, and deeply grounded. This journey is not just about personal transformation. It is about contributing to the world in a meaningful way, living a life that is not only successful but also enriching and fulfilling. As we close this chapter, let us carry with us the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. Let their teachings be a guiding light in our quest for an extraordinary life. Remember, the path to greatness is paved with virtue, resilience, and a deep understanding of the self and the world. It is a path open to all who choose to walk it, a path that leads not just to success, but to a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose. So as you step forward from this moment, carry with you the lessons of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. Let them inspire you to live each day with intention, to face life's challenges with courage, and to continually strive towards becoming the best version of yourself. From the meticulous strokes of a samurai's sword to the deep introspection of a Stoic emperor, from the pursuit of raw masculinity in the modern era to the wisdom sought amidst concentration camp fences, what does it truly mean to be a superior man? Why has this quest consumed thinkers, warriors, and scholars from every corner of the world and every epoch of history? The universe has seen countless sunrises and sunsets, civilizations rise and fall, technologies evolve, and cultures transform. Yet, a singular, unyielding quest has echoed through the ages, threading itself through the fabric of history, culture, and individual pursuit, the quest to become a superior man. At first glance, one might assume this means physical prowess, the strength of Hercules, or the agility of a panther. While physicality is an aspect, the true essence of the superior man dives far deeper. It transcends cultures, eras, and personal ambitions. It melts the palpable with the ethereal, creating an archetype that is revered, respected, and most importantly, relatable. From ancient scrolls to digital blogs, the teachings of the world's greatest philosophers and authors give testament to humanity's unending journey of self-betterment. It is a journey not defined by the destination but by the steps taken, the hurdles overcome, and the insights gleaned. It's a story of mankind's unwavering resolve to rise above, not merely in stature or accomplishment, but in spirit and character. The concept of virtue, a moral excellence sought after by ancient Greeks, holds paramount significance in this quest. Aristotle famously mentioned, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act but a habit. But this habit is not cultivated in isolation. It's a synthesis of reflection, understanding, and action. Virtue, after all, is more than a list of good deeds. It's a mindset, a way of being. Moreover, wisdom, a deep understanding and realization of people, things, events, or situations, has always been a cherished prize, often equated with the light that dispels the darkness of ignorance. From the mystics meditating in the Himalayas to the scholars debating in the Athenian agora, the quest for wisdom has been as varied as it has been relentless. But what truly is a superior man? Is it just a mosaic of virtues and wisdom? Perhaps, but it's also about how one wields these attributes. A superior man doesn't just possess knowledge, he applies it. He doesn't merely have virtues, he lives by them. He isn't just molded by experiences, he learns and grows from them. The beauty of this pursuit lies in its universality. Regardless of the age one lives in, the fundamental human desire remains unchanged, to evolve, to improve, and to resonate with a higher version of oneself. It's not just about having superior skills or being recognized for one's talents. It's about character, carrying oneself with grace, facing challenges with resilience, and wielding power with humility. In the chapters of history, we'll find these superior men appearing as samurai warriors, Roman emperors, Renaissance thinkers, or even 20th century intellectuals. Their backgrounds might differ, their challenges distinct, but their core pursuit remains interconnected: to reach an elevated state of being, to understand oneself and the world profoundly, and to leave an indelible mark, not of conquests, but of character. As we embark on this journey today, delving deep into lessons from some of the most revered philosophers and authors, we invite you to reflect, introspect, and perhaps find that superior man within yourself. The path is ageless, the quest eternal, and the rewards immeasurable. Join us as we traverse the path of the superior man, a journey through ages, yet timeless in its essence. The rustic clang of steel against steel, the meticulous art of calligraphy, the gentle embrace of nature's solace, all these seemingly disparate elements come together in the life of one legendary figure, Miyamoto Musashi. Often heralded as Japan's greatest swordsman, Musashi was not just a master of the blade, but also a philosopher, strategist, and artist. His life lessons and legacy offer profound insights into the making of a superior man. Born in the late 16th century, Musashi's life was a tapestry of duels, travels, and deep introspections. His renown in swordsmanship was not merely due to his unparalleled skill, but also his unique approach to combat and life. This approach is detailed exquisitely in his seminal work, The Book of Five Rings, but equally illuminating is another of his lesser-known works, the Dokodo, or The Way of Walking Alone. The Dokodo offers 21 precepts, each a gem of wisdom. Distilled, they underscore the virtues of independence, acceptance, and simplicity. One such precept urges, "Do not seek pleasure for its own sake." In a world of fleeting joys, Musashi's words beckon us to rise above hedonism, to seek contentment not in externalities, but in the richness of our inner lives. Another admonishes, "Do not, under any circumstances, depend on a partial feeling." Here, Musashi emphasizes the importance of commitment, of seeing things through with unwavering focus and determination. These precepts, though written centuries ago, resonate with timeless relevance, reminding us of the path to genuine mastery and superiority. Musashi's life was the embodiment of discipline. For him, discipline wasn't a mere routine, it was a way of life. This discipline extended far beyond the battleground. Whether he was honing his skills with the blade, crafting a piece of art, or penning his philosophical musings, Musashi showcased an almost otherworldly level of focus and dedication. He believed in Kaizen, the principle of continuous improvement. It's not about reaching a destination, but about embracing the journey itself, constantly refining one's skills, character, and understanding. But what can we, in our modern era, learn from a samurai who walked the earth over 4 centuries ago? Perhaps it's the realization that true mastery, be it of a craft, an art, or life itself, demands more than just talent. It demands sacrifice, patience, and an insatiable hunger to learn. In today's world, where distractions are myriad and patience sparse, Musashi's teachings become even more critical. In an age of instant gratification, the path of discipline, focus, and relentless self-improvement seems almost revolutionary. One of the most profound takeaways from Musashi's legacy is his holistic approach to life. He wasn't just a warrior, he was a thinker, a creator, and a seeker. This integration of different facets of existence exemplifies the essence of a superior man. It's not about being the best in one's chosen field, but about harmonizing various aspects of life to reach a state of balance, fulfillment, and unparalleled excellence. The figure of Musashi standing alone, wielding two swords, encapsulates this balance, combining raw power with refined strategy, brute strength with mental acuity. For modern men navigating the complex terrains of today's world, this imagery serves as a potent reminder. A reminder that the journey to becoming a superior man necessitates the harmonizing of heart and mind, power and peace, combat and compassion. Musashi's parting words in the Dokado are, "Never stray from the way." It's an exhortation, a clarion call to remain steadfast in our pursuit of excellence, to not be swayed by ephemeral distractions, and to continuously tread the path that aligns with our true purpose. The way might differ for each individual, but the principles remain consistent: discipline, focus, and an undying passion for mastery. As we glean insights from Musashi's life and teachings, we're reminded that the way of the superior man is neither easy nor straightforward. It's strewn with challenges, temptations, and trials. Yet it's this very journey, with its highs and lows, that chisels an ordinary man into a figure of superiority. A man who, like Musashi, becomes an embodiment of strategy, skill, and sublime wisdom. In the intricate dance of life where energies intertwine, there emerges a voice that resonates with many modern men, guiding them through the nuances of masculinity, purpose, and relational dynamics. This voice is none other than David Deida, a thinker whose insights on the masculine essence have sparked revelations for countless individuals navigating the complexities of modern relationships and self-identity. His magnum opus, The Way of the Superior Man, is not just a guidebook, but a reflection, a mirror held to society, urging men to tap into their deep, authentic masculine essence. But what is this essence? It's not the culturally conditioned aggression or dominance, but a core energy, a potent blend of direction, purpose, and integrity. It's the unwavering strength and presence that a man brings to every situation, not as a force of oppression, but as a beacon of stability and consciousness. Central to his philosophy is the idea that every individual, regardless of their gender, carries within them a blend of masculine and feminine energies. While both are essential and valuable, David's work particularly shines a light on the modern man's struggle to understand and channel his inherent masculine energy in a world that often misconstrues or misrepresents it. This energy finds its highest expression in the pursuit of a deeper purpose, a purpose that extends beyond mere personal gains or societal accolades. It's an inner calling, an unwavering commitment to a cause, an ideal, or a passion. Yet, intertwined with this quest for purpose are the intricate dynamics between men and women. He delves deep into the challenges and beauty of these dynamics, emphasizing the magnetic pull of polarity. He argues that the more strongly a man can root himself in his masculine essence, the more naturally he can attract and harmonize with the feminine energy. This isn't just about romantic relationships, it's a broader dance of energies that plays out in various facets of life. In The Way of the Superior Man, he discusses the pitfalls men often encounter, from losing themselves in their partnerships to sacrificing their deepest purpose for the illusion of safety. The superior man, in David's vision, does not shy away from challenge or discomfort. Instead, he leans into it, using the friction as a catalyst for growth, deepening his presence and sharpening his direction. It's a journey that demands vulnerability, authenticity, and a willingness to traverse the depths of one's psyche. Beyond just relational dynamics and personal purpose, his work touches the realm of the spiritual. He beckons men to not only explore the realms of ambition and relation, but to dive deep into the ocean of consciousness. This spiritual dimension is where the superior man finds his grounding, where he connects with the infinite, and where he derives the strength to navigate the ever-shifting sands of life. It's here that a man learns to be both a rock and water, firm in his convictions, yet fluid in his adaptability. In a world that often offers conflicting narratives on masculinity, he presents a vision that is both refreshing and deeply resonant. It's a vision that invites men to rise above superficiality, to pierce through societal constructs, and to discover and embody their authentic masculine core. Through this journey, what emerges is not just a man who understands his purpose and navigates relationships with clarity, but a superior man, one rooted in consciousness, integrity, and an unwavering commitment to growth. As we reflect on David Deida's insights, we are reminded that the path to becoming a superior man is not one of isolation, but of connection. Connection to oneself, to one's purpose, to others, and to the vast, intricate tapestry of life. It's a journey that demands courage, introspection, and a relentless pursuit of truth. And in this journey, as he so eloquently puts it, lies the way of the superior man. Amid the towering pillars of Rome and the vast stretches of its empire, a figure, clad not just in the garb of an emperor, but also in the cloak of philosophy, reigned. Marcus Aurelius, Rome's philosopher king, stands as a unique beacon in the annals of history, a leader whose might lay not just in the expanse of his empire, but in the depths of his thoughts. At the crossroads of power and introspection, his life and writings offer timeless insights into the essence of Stoic leadership and the path of virtue. Marcus Aurelius's writings, primarily his personal journal known as the Meditations, are not grand treatises or verbose expositions. Instead, they are intimate reflections, whispers from the heart of one of the most powerful men in history, grappling with the same questions, fears, and challenges that humans have faced across ages. It's a testament to his quest for virtue, for understanding, and for a life led with purpose and integrity. A primary tenet that flows through Marcus Aurelius's musings is the call to virtue. To him, virtue wasn't a mere buzzword or a convenient facade. It was the very bedrock of life. He wrote, "Just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Cold or warm, tired or well-rested, despised or honored, dying or busy with other assignments. Because dying too is one of our assignments in life. There as well, to do what needs doing. Look inward. Don't let the true nature of anything elude you." Such a simplification, coming from an emperor overseeing a vast and complex administrative machinery, is profound. It strips away the complexities of situations, reducing them to their essence, a moral choice where virtue stands as the guiding light. But Marcus Aurelius's Stoicism wasn't just about personal virtue, it was intricately tied to his role as a leader. Leadership, especially in the turbulent waters of Roman politics and wars, was a Herculean task, with myriad challenges both external and internal. Here, the Stoic principles he embraced became his anchor. The Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on discerning between what's in our control and what's not, was his compass in the stormy seas of leadership. He believed that while external events, opinions, or outcomes might be beyond one's grasp, one's own thoughts, actions, and responses were squarely within one's domain. This Stoic principle is encapsulated in his words. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This realization is transformative. It shifts the focus from fretting over externalities to cultivating an internal fortress. It's about realizing that while the world might be in chaos, one's mind can remain an oasis of calm and clarity. This shift doesn't advocate passivity or resignation. Instead, it urges proactive engagement with the world, armed with the wisdom of discernment and the shield of equanimity. For Marcus Aurelius, another key aspect of Stoicism was its universality. The principles he espoused weren't limited to the corridors of power in Rome. They were, and remain, universally applicable. Whether one is an emperor or a farmer, a general or a poet. The challenges might differ, the stakes might vary, but the core Stoic tenets remain the same. His leadership was a dance between action and reflection, between wielding power and yielding to wisdom. In one of his reflections he mentions, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." Such insights underscore a leadership style rooted not in retribution or power plays but in dignity, respect, and virtue. The world has seen countless rulers, leaders, and influencers, but few have left behind a legacy as enduring and enlightening as Marcus Aurelius. In a world rife with power dynamics and ambitions, his life stands as a testament to the fact that true leadership is not just about external conquests, but internal mastery. As we delve deeper into the essence of Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism, we uncover not just historical insights, but contemporary lessons. In our modern world, with its complexities and challenges, the Stoic principles embraced by Marcus Aurelius beckon us with renewed relevance. They remind us that amidst the ever-changing external landscape, there lies an internal realm, waiting to be mastered, a realm where virtue is the ruler and wisdom is the compass. In the gilded corridors of ancient Rome, amidst the opulence and grandeur, a figure of paradox emerged, weaving a narrative that would echo through millennia. Lucius Seneca, statesman, playwright, and one of the most prominent Stoic philosophers, stood at the intersection of wealth and wisdom, power and introspection. His life and teachings serve as a profound exploration of the delicate balance between material abundance and philosophical enlightenment. Seneca's story is one of contrasts. Born into a prominent Roman family, he ascended to become one of the wealthiest citizens of Rome and a trusted advisor to Emperor Nero. Yet this very man, surrounded by the trappings of luxury and political influence, was also one of the most vocal proponents of Stoic philosophy, a philosophy that often advocated simplicity, endurance, and equanimity. This duality of being deeply embedded in the material world while remaining a torchbearer of Stoicism lends a unique richness and authenticity to Seneca's teachings. A central theme that pervades Seneca's writings is the relationship between wealth and virtue. To him, wealth in itself was neither good nor bad. It was instead a tool, a resource, a means to an end, but never the end itself. He once famously stated, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." Such insights, coming from a man of immense wealth, carry a weight of lived experience. They are not mere philosophical musings, but reflections born out of navigating the complexities of affluence. One of his most enduring lessons revolves around the idea of enjoying life's blessings without becoming subservient to them. He was no ascetic. He didn't preach the renunciation of wealth or pleasures. Instead, he advocated a mindful engagement with them, a conscious consumption that appreciates the luxuries without being ensnared by them. In his words, slavery resides under marble and gold. It was a cautionary reminder that the chains of dependency could very well be forged in gold. This Stoic detachment was not a call to indifference but a path to true freedom. By being in control of one's desires and not being overly attached to material possessions, one could truly enjoy them without the constant fear of loss or the insatiable thirst for more. Such a stance required immense introspection and self-awareness, qualities that Seneca believed were the cornerstones of a life well lived. Seneca's perspective on wealth also extended to the realm of generosity and societal responsibility. He believed that wealth brought with it a duty to uplift, to support, and to contribute. To hoard or to indulge mindlessly was, in his view, a betrayal of this responsibility. True wealth, he professed, lay not just in accumulation, but in the judicious use and distribution of one's resources. However, beyond the tangible dimensions of wealth, Seneca's teachings delve deep into the riches of the mind and soul. To him, the greatest wealth was wisdom, the ability to discern, to understand, and to navigate life's vicissitudes with grace and equanimity. This pursuit of wisdom was not a passive endeavor. It was an active, relentless quest that often required one to question societal norms, challenge personal beliefs, and at times swim against the tide. In a world that often measures success in material terms, he stands as a timeless reminder that true success, true wealth, transcends the tangible. It's rooted in the depths of one's character, the expanse of one's understanding, and the quality of one's actions. In examining Seneca's life and teachings, we are invited to reflect upon our own relationship with wealth and wisdom. In the modern age, where the allure of materialism is pervasive and often overwhelming, Seneca's Stoic principles beckon us with a clarion call. They urge us to strike a balance, to embrace the bounties of life without being ensnared by them, and to constantly strive for a wealth that is both profound and enduring, a wealth that melds the gold of material abundance with the diamonds of wisdom. The vast landscapes of philosophical thought are punctuated by towering figures, but few stand as challengingly and provocatively as Friedrich Nietzsche. With piercing insights and a rhetoric that both baffled and enthralled, Nietzsche carved a path that beckoned the brave and the audacious. At the heart of his philosophy lay a clarion call to humanity, to rise, to transcend, and to embrace the potential of the Ubermensch. His world was one of transformation and upheaval. The old orders were crumbling, the comforting certainties of religion and tradition were being questioned, and humanity found itself on the precipice of existential uncertainty. Into this maelstrom, Nietzsche's voice emerged, not as a soothing balm, but as a fierce challenge. He saw a world ensnared by what he termed as slave morality, a set of values that stemmed from weakness and celebrated mediocrity. Against this backdrop, he envisioned the rise of new values, values that were not handed down by deities or societies but forged in the crucible of individual will and passion. God is dead, God remains dead, and we have killed him, he declared, encapsulating the profound shift in societal paradigms. But this wasn't a statement of despair. It was an invitation to humanity to step up and create new values, values that reflected the complexities and potentials of human existence. The onus was now on man to become the creator, the sculptor of his own destiny and values. Central to this transformative vision was the concept of the Ubermensch, often translated as the overman or superman. But who or what was this Ubermensch? Not a being of physical prowess or superficial superiority, but an individual who had transcended traditional values, societal norms, and the weight of existential nihilism. This Ubermensch was a beacon of self-overcoming, a symbol of what humanity could aspire to in its highest form. For him, life's inherent struggles and challenges weren't barriers, they were catalysts. Each challenge, each tribulation was an opportunity for self-overcoming, for growth, for metamorphosis. Just as the alchemical process transforms lead into gold, he believed that confronting and embracing life's challenges had the power to elevate an individual, molding them into a superior version of themselves. But this journey towards becoming the Ubermensch was not a smooth ascent. It was a path fraught with perils and uncertainties. It required the individual to embrace the will to power, to confront their deepest fears, to shatter their self-imposed limitations, and to continually strive for a higher state of being. It was about recognizing that life was not about seeking comfort or avoiding pain, but about growth, evolution, and transcendence. The struggles then were not mere hurdles, but vital components of the journey. He proclaimed, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." In this declaration lies the essence of his philosophy. It's a celebration of resilience, of courage, and of an unyielding drive to rise above the mundane. In a world that often seeks safety, his philosophy is a resounding gong, urging us to not just face challenges, but to relish them. For in each challenge lies the seed of transformation, an opportunity to inch closer to the Ubermensch's ideal. It's a call to break free from the chains of conventional morality and societal expectations, to chart one's own course and to embrace the glorious uncertainty of existence. As we delve into Nietzsche's profound insights, we are reminded of the immense potential that lies within each of us, the potential to redefine ourselves, to shape our destinies, and to rise above the ordinary. The path of the Ubermensch is not reserved for the select few. It beckons to each one of us, urging us to challenge, to question, and to transcend. In the dance of existence, where challenges and triumphs ebb and flow, Nietzsche's philosophy stands as a timeless testament to humanity's indomitable spirit. It's an invitation to look beyond the horizon, to dream audaciously, and to stride forth with the heart of a lion, ever eager, ever hungry, ever seeking the heights of the Ubermensch. In the harrowing shadows of barbed wires and under the watchful eyes of Nazi guards, amidst the indescribable horrors of concentration camps, a beacon of hope and resilience emerged. Dr. Viktor Frankl, psychiatrist, neurologist, and Holocaust survivor, stands as a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a spirit that seeks meaning even when engulfed in the abyss of suffering. Frankl's seminal work, Man's Search for Meaning, is not just a memoir, it is a philosophical exploration, a psychological treatise, and above all, a guide to finding light in the darkest of times. Through its pages, readers traverse the chilling landscapes of Auschwitz and Dachau, but more than the external atrocities, they are led into the inner chambers of the inmates' minds, where battles of a different kind raged. At the heart of his philosophy is the belief in logotherapy, a form of existential analysis that posits that the primary human drive is not pleasure, as Freud suggested, but the pursuit of what we find meaningful. Even in the harshest conditions, surrounded by death and devoid of freedom, Frankl observed that those who could find meaning, even in the smallest of moments or in the most mundane of tasks, exhibited a resilience that often defied logical explanation. He wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." In the brutal environment of the concentration camps, where every aspect of one's existence was regulated and restricted, this insight was revolutionary. It underscored the idea that while external circumstances might be beyond one's control, one's internal response, the narrative one crafts, remains a bastion of freedom. One of the most poignant moments in Man's Search for Meaning is Frankl's reflection on how, amidst the squalor and degradation, he would often think of his wife and their love, a love that transcended the confines of the camp and offered him a sanctuary of solace and purpose. This realization that love could serve as a source of meaning even when stripped of everything else became a cornerstone of Frankl's therapeutic approach. But Frankl's insights go beyond the individual. He extends his philosophy to a broader societal canvas. In a world recovering from war and grappling with existential questions, his assertion was clear. Life is not primarily a quest for pleasure as Freud believed, or a quest for power as Alfred Adler taught, but a quest for meaning. The challenges faced by Frankl and his fellow inmates were extreme, almost inconceivable. Yet his experiences and reflections resonate universally. Every individual at some point confronts challenges, faces adversities, and grapples with suffering. While the scale and nature of these struggles might differ, the core existential crisis, the search for meaning amidst chaos, remains a shared human experience. As we engage with these profound insights, we are compelled to reflect upon our own lives, our own challenges, and our own quests for meaning. In a world that often feels fragmented Where despair looms large and uncertainties abound, Frankl's philosophy offers a beacon, a reminder that meaning can be forged, that purpose can be found, and that even in the direst of circumstances, the human spirit can not only endure but also thrive. The legacy of Viktor Frankl stands as a testament to the resilience of the human psyche. It's a clarion call to delve deep, to seek purpose, and to anchor oneself in the quest for meaning. For as Frankl so eloquently puts it, in some ways suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds a meaning. In the intricate tapestry of the human psyche, where dreams intermingle with reality, and where archetypes dance with conscious thoughts, the profound insights of Carl Gustav Jung find their canvas. A pioneer of depth psychology, Jung delved into realms often left uncharted, shedding light on the darkest corners and the most luminous vistas of the human mind. Central to his explorations was a concept both intriguing and challenging: the shadow. The shadow, in Jungian psychology, isn't merely the absence of light or a mere reflection. It represents the hidden, the suppressed, the parts of ourselves that we often deny or ignore. These could be our fears, our desires, our regrets, elements that for various reasons don't align with our conscious self-image or societal expectations. They lurk beneath in the unconscious, often influencing our behaviors, reactions, and choices in ways we scarcely realize. But why, one might ask, should one confront this shadow? Why not let sleeping demons lie? To this he offers a profound insight. By recognizing, confronting, and integrating the shadow, one embarks on a journey towards self-realization, towards individuation. This process of individuation is not about achieving perfection or an idealized state, but about embracing and integrating the myriad facets of oneself, achieving a harmonious wholeness. He believed that confronting the shadow was neither easy nor straightforward. It required introspection, courage, and often a descent into the depths of one's psyche, a personal night-sea journey. Yet this confrontation was crucial. As he stated, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. By acknowledging and integrating the shadow, one not only gains insights into one's hidden motivations, but also taps into a reservoir of latent creativity, strength, and vitality. This integration, however, isn't about indulging in one's darker tendencies. Instead, it's about understanding them, giving them a voice, and then finding a balance. In this balancing act, the shadow doesn't overpower or subsume the conscious self. Rather, it melds with it, creating a richer, more nuanced self-awareness. Integral to this journey of shadow integration is the realization that the path to becoming a superior man isn't about sidelining or suppressing aspects of oneself, but about achieving a harmonious integration. The superior man, in Jung's vision, is not a paragon of societal virtue, but an individual who has achieved a synthesis of his conscious and unconscious realms. He's a man who, in understanding his shadows, casts a brighter, more authentic light. His philosophy, though rooted in intricate psychological constructs, offers profound practical insights for the modern individual. In an era where societal masks often overshadow authentic selves, where digital personas can be curated to echo societal ideals, the call to acknowledge and integrate the shadow becomes even more pertinent. It's an invitation to authenticity, to depth, and to a richer understanding of oneself. As we reflect upon Jung's teachings, we're reminded of the complexities and the profound potentials that reside within each of us. The shadows, though challenging, are not adversaries. They're gateways to deeper understanding, greater authenticity, and a more holistic sense of self. In embracing and integrating these shadows, one doesn't just navigate the challenges of life with greater awareness, but also strides forth on the path of the superior man, a path not of perfection, but of profound integrated wholeness. In the turbulent aftermath of World War II, as the world tried to piece together its fragmented psyche, a voice emerged from the ruins, articulating the profound dissonance and disillusionment of an era. Albert Camus, an Algerian-born French philosopher, novelist, and playwright, took center stage in existentialist thought, a movement that grappled with the inherent complexities and ambiguities of human existence. And yet, Camus, with his distinct perspective and fierce independence, often resisted the label of existentialist, forging his unique philosophical path centered around the idea of the absurd. At its core, Camus' philosophy is an exploration of the absurd, the profound clash between humanity's innate search for meaning and the silent, indifferent universe that seemingly offers none. It's a confrontation with the vast, unknowable cosmos, where our cries for purpose are met with silence, our search for clarity faced with enigma. There is only one really serious philosophical problem, Camus wrote, and that is suicide. This stark assertion wasn't a nod to nihilism, but a profound inquiry. In a world that seems devoid of inherent meaning, is life still worth living? Camus' essay, The Myth of Sisyphus, serves as a symbolic exploration of this very conundrum. In the ancient Greek tale, Sisyphus is condemned by the gods to push a boulder up a hill for all eternity, only to watch it roll back down each time he nears the summit. To many, this might seem the ultimate depiction of futility. Yet Camus saw in Sisyphus a hero, a rebel. In that moment, when Sisyphus descends the hill to begin his task anew, Camus envisioned a man who, despite the seeming pointlessness of his task, embraces it with passion, defiance, and consciousness. It's in this repetitive act, in the conscious confrontation with the absurd, that Sisyphus finds his freedom and, paradoxically, his happiness. Yet, Camus's exploration of the absurd didn't end with Sisyphus. In his novel, The Stranger, he crafts the story of Meursault, a man who, after an act of senseless violence, confronts the irrationality of life and the indifference of the universe. Meursault's alienation, his confrontation with the absurdities of societal conventions and the meaninglessness of existence, becomes a mirror for the reader, forcing a profound introspection. For Camus, recognizing the absurd was not an endpoint but a beginning. It was a call to revolt, a revolt against despair, against complacency, against the very notion that life's lack of inherent meaning renders it futile. Instead, in this void, Camus saw potential. Embracing the absurd becomes an act of affirmation, a conscious choice to continue living with passion, authenticity, and a fierce adherence to one's own truths. Central to this philosophy was Camus' unwavering belief in the intrinsic value of life. Even in a universe devoid of preordained purpose, life, with its joys, sorrows, and complexities, held immeasurable worth. This conviction extended to Camus' deep sense of solidarity with humanity. In the face of an indifferent cosmos, humans were each other's keepers, bound by shared experiences, shared struggles, and the shared journey of navigating the absurd. The lessons embedded in Camus' philosophy are both challenging and liberating. They compel us to confront our deepest anxieties, to question societal constructs, and to grapple with the profound uncertainties of existence. Yet in this very confrontation, in this embrace of the absurd, lies the path to personal freedom and an authentic life. It's a journey not towards finding external meaning, but towards crafting our own, not towards seeking universal truths, but towards forging personal ones. As we delve deeper into the realm of Camus and the absurd, we are reminded of the resilience, defiance, and passion that define the human spirit. In a universe that may offer no answers, Camus beckons us to craft our own, to rebel against despair, and to find, in the very heart of the absurd, a life teeming with purpose, passion, and profound connection. As we've journeyed through the realms of philosophy, threading the paths laid by luminaries like Musashi, Aurelius, Seneca, Nietzsche, Francha, Jung, and Camus, we've been privy to a wealth of insights that beckon the spirit to ascend to the realm of the superior man. Yet, philosophical enlightenment without pragmatic implementation remains but a flickering beacon in the vast expanse of life. So, how does one embody these profound teachings in everyday existence? Let's pave a practical pathway inspired by the wisdom of these great thinkers. 1. Embrace continuous learning, inspired by Musashi. Dedicate yourself to mastery in your chosen field. Much like a samurai hones his skills, read, practice, engage in discussions, and never let the flame of curiosity dim. Whether it's your profession, a hobby, or a newfound interest, immerse yourself with the zeal of a lifelong learner. 2. Channel your inner energy. Recognize the dynamism within you. Cultivate self-awareness, understanding your masculine and feminine energies, and harnessing them aptly. It's about being assertive when needed, receptive at times, and always authentic. 3. Develop Stoic resilience, from Aurelius and Seneca. Life will present challenges. Instead of lamenting them, embrace them as teachers. Understand what's within your control, act on it, and accept what's beyond your grasp. Celebrate life's blessings, but don't be enslaved by the desire for more. 4. Confront your shadow, guided by Jung. Engage in introspection. Recognize the aspects of yourself that you've suppressed or denied. Accept them, integrate them, and in doing so, attain a harmonious wholeness. 5. Carve your own path. In a world teeming with voices dictating norms and values, have the courage to listen to your own. While appreciating collective wisdom, don't be shackled by conformity. Trust your intuition and tread your unique path. 6. Seek meaning, even in adversity, from Francha. Life can be unpredictable, even cruel. Yet even in the bleakest moments, search for meaning. It could be in the love of a dear one, the satisfaction of a job well done, or the simple pleasure of a sunrise. 7. Embrace the absurd, with Camus. Life won't always make sense, and that's okay. Instead of seeking external validations or universal truths, craft your own meaning. Rebel against despair, and in the heart of the absurd, find your passion and purpose. Now, intertwining these insights, let's chart a practical roadmap. Daily meditation and reflection. Start your day with a moment of stillness. Reflect on your actions, aspirations, and the lessons these philosophers offer. Let it be a grounding ritual. Journaling. Document your journey. Write about your challenges, your moments of enlightenment, and your personal growth. It's a mirror to your soul and a testament to your evolution. Active learning. Dedicate a part of your week to learning. It could be reading, attending workshops, or simply engaging in meaningful conversations. Service. Remember Frankl's search for meaning and Camus' emphasis on solidarity. Incorporate service into your life. Help, volunteer, make a difference. It aligns you with a purpose larger than yourself. Engage in arts. Whether it's painting, music, or any form of art, let it be your portal to confronting and integrating your shadow, as guided by Jung. Physical activity, be it martial arts as inspired by Musashi, or simply a daily exercise routine, let it be a testament to discipline, focus, and the continuous journey of self-improvement. Open dialogues, discuss, debate, and share. Talk about your feelings, your insights, and your journey. It's therapeutic and offers fresh perspectives. Challenge yourself. Regularly step out of your comfort zone. Take on a new project, travel to an unfamiliar place, or learn a new skill. It embodies the essence of Nietzsche's call to embrace challenges. Practice gratitude. Every day, reflect on at least 3 things you're grateful for. It's a nod to Seneca's teachings of appreciating life's blessings without being enslaved by them. In essence, the journey to becoming the superior man isn't about reaching a destination. It's a continuous process of self-discovery, growth, and evolution. It's about embodying the teachings of these great philosophers, not just in profound contemplations, but in everyday actions. For in the weave of daily routines, in the choices we make, and in the challenges we embrace, lies the path to true superiority. As we conclude this exploration, let it not be an end, but a commencement, a starting point for each viewer to embark on their unique journey, a journey of self-discovery, where the contours of one's essence are mapped and understood, a journey of self-improvement, where the gaps between one's potential and reality are bridged, and a journey of mastery, where skills, virtues, and insights are honed to their pinnacle. In this odyssey, the destination is not a fixed point but an ever-evolving horizon. It's a call to rise, to strive, and to embrace the multifaceted journey of becoming a superior man. Let the wisdom of the ages be your guide, the experiences of life be your teacher, and the fire of passion be your fuel. What if I told you that your deepest pain could be the source of your greatest strength? Take a moment to consider how radically different your life might be if you stopped treating suffering as your enemy and started seeing it as your greatest ally. We live in a culture that constantly urges us to avoid hardship, to numb ourselves at the first hint of discomfort, and to seek out every possible convenience that technology and modern life can offer. But what if that approach is actually keeping you from unlocking your full potential? That's precisely what the German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche believed. He argued that suffering isn't something to flee from, but rather a force we can harness, a catalyst that can spur us to tremendous heights of creativity, resilience, and personal excellence. Nietzsche's perspective on suffering is especially relevant today, when we're inundated with quick fixes and simple escapes from anything that causes us pain. His message stands in stark contrast to the constant pursuit of comfort. Pain is not a sign of weakness, it's the birthplace of strength. When you begin to see challenges and hardships as teachers rather than obstacles, you discover that moments of despair, frustration, or anguish can be the very fuel that drives you to become exceptional. In other words, it's often the times you feel most broken that lead to your most profound breakthroughs, if you let them. Over the course of this video, you'll learn why he believes so firmly in the transformative power of suffering. You'll gain a deeper understanding of how he saw hardship as a gateway to growth rather than a roadblock. By delving into his core concepts like the Ubermensch, Amor Fati, and the will to power, you'll see how adversity can be strategically embraced to elevate your life to unprecedented levels of meaning and impact. Instead of dreading those moments of pain and uncertainty, you'll discover how to reframe them, cultivate an unbreakable spirit, and channel your struggles into something extraordinarily productive. If you watch until the end, you'll walk away with practical insights on how to reinterpret your own suffering and use it as a springboard for self-discovery. You'll learn to reject the mindset that views pain solely as a burden and instead adopt the belief that struggle is an integral part of becoming the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. You'll hear why Nietzsche was convinced that avoiding hardship at all costs is one of the biggest mistakes we can make, and how it leads to a half-lived life that never truly taps into the depths of our capabilities. More importantly, you'll find out how you can incorporate Nietzsche's philosophies into your everyday life, shifting from a default response of resistance and dread toward a more proactive stance that sees problems and setbacks as vital elements of growth. Whether you're facing an uphill battle at work, wrestling with a personal crisis, or searching for a deeper sense of purpose, Nietzsche's bold challenge to embrace suffering could be the very key that propels you to new heights. His ideas may not always be easy to swallow. After all, they force us to confront discomfort head-on, but they hold the promise of a more dynamic, empowered, and ultimately fulfilling existence. So, if you're ready to discover how your hardest moments can become the stepping stones to greatness, stay with me. Nietzsche's guide to using suffering as a powerful tool for self-transformation might just be the spark you need to start viewing pain in an entirely new light, and to rise above your limitations in ways you never thought possible. Now that we've established the idea that suffering can be a pathway to strength rather than a roadblock, let's dig into Nietzsche's perspective on why hardship is so central to the human experience. He famously declared, "To live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." It's a statement that can sound grim at first. After all, nobody enjoys the idea of endless struggle. But what he is really saying is that living, truly living, means you'll inevitably run into pain, obstacles, and disappointment. Those are natural elements of being alive. You can't escape them, no matter how hard you try. Once you accept that suffering is woven into the very fabric of existence, you begin to see that the difference between merely enduring life and thriving in it often comes down to how you interpret and respond to that suffering. According to Nietzsche, to survive is not just about staying alive physically, it's about discovering or creating a meaning that transforms your suffering into a force that propels you forward. It's about refusing to crumble under the weight of your problems and instead forging purpose out of them. By doing so, you're not just surviving, you're evolving, growing, and becoming stronger in ways you never would have otherwise. For Nietzsche, suffering was more than just a fact of life. It was an essential ingredient for personal growth. He believed that everything worth having, whether it's profound insight, unshakable confidence, or original creativity, comes at a cost. Think of it this way. When you go to the gym, you lift weights that challenge your muscles, causing them microscopic tears. While it hurts in the moment, that discomfort is exactly what triggers your body to rebuild stronger muscle fibers. He saw the same principle at work in the mind and spirit. Enduring heartbreak, disappointment, and setbacks pushes you to confront the vulnerable parts of yourself. It peels back layers of complacency and forces you to step up, adapt, and refine your approach. In his view, a life free of all difficulty might seem appealing at first glance, but it's a life that would rob you of real transformation. Without challenges, we risk remaining stagnant, never discovering the deeper resources of courage, creativity, and resolve that lie dormant within us. And it's not just about pain for its own sake. Nietzsche wasn't saying, go out and get hurt for fun. Rather, he was pointing out that pain is an unavoidable aspect of existence. And if you try to dodge it completely, you also dodge the lessons it has to teach you. Now let's compare this view with how most people approach pain and suffering today. Many of us live in a world that prizes quick fixes, instant gratification, and constant convenience. Whether it's food delivery at the push of a button, streaming entire TV series without leaving the couch, or leaning on social media for temporary distraction, modern technology makes it incredibly easy to sidestep anything uncomfortable. As a result, we've grown so used to seeking comfort that we often interpret any kind of hardship as a failure or a flaw. If a relationship becomes tough, we might think, this should be easier, and give up. If a job becomes challenging, we might assume, I'm not cut out for this, and look for something simpler. Our cultural messaging often encourages us to avoid the grind, to keep ourselves endlessly entertained, and to reach for a convenient escape whenever life gets tough. Nietzsche's philosophy directly confronts this mindset. He would argue that our collective obsession with avoiding adversity actually undermines our capacity to become remarkable individuals. When we dodge every obstacle or sanitize every hint of discomfort, we miss the growth that comes from wrestling with those very challenges. We lose opportunities to develop resilience, empathy, perseverance, and creative problem-solving skills. In other words, the modern pursuit of endless comfort might spare us a little pain in the short term, but it can also rob us of real growth in the long run. His take on suffering can serve as a powerful reminder that hardship isn't always a sign something has gone wrong. Instead, it can be a natural and even necessary part of a meaningful life. If you think back to any of your own struggles, maybe a big test at school, a conflict with a friend, or a period of uncertainty about your future, you'll likely recall how those moments, however painful, eventually led to insights or changes in your behavior. Perhaps you studied harder and discovered a new passion. Maybe you learned to communicate better and saved an important friendship. Or you took a leap of faith, tried a new path, and found a calling you love. None of that would have happened without some level of struggle nudging you to adapt. This isn't to say that suffering is always good or that it feels pleasant. It's more about recognizing that pain can be a profound teacher if you're open to learning its lessons. Nietzsche wants us to acknowledge suffering as an integral piece of life's puzzle, sometimes a harsh teacher, but a teacher nonetheless. When you adopt that perspective, you begin to see it as a signpost, a set of clues pointing you toward areas where you can grow, improve, or develop new strengths. So let this set the tone for the rest of what we'll explore. Nietzsche is saying, in essence, don't waste your pain. Instead of letting suffering crush you or fill you with resentment, look at it as raw material, something you can shape into wisdom, courage, or resilience. Of course, this idea challenges us to examine our usual responses to pain. Do we blame others, complain, or numb ourselves with distractions? Or do we listen to what the struggle is trying to tell us and try to transform it into something meaningful? Overcoming difficulties can spark incredible changes, new passions, unexpected friendships, and personal breakthroughs that might never have happened if everything was always easy. And by deliberately choosing to face hardship, you end up proving to yourself that you're stronger and more adaptable than you initially believed. It's in these moments, he would say, that you begin to glimpse your own potential for greatness. You discover what you're truly capable of when comfort is stripped away, and that discovery can shape who you become in ways that might surprise even you. From here on, as we continue this journey through his philosophy, keep this image of suffering as a teacher firmly in mind. We're not going to wallow in misery, and we're not going to glorify pain for its own sake. Instead, we're aiming to understand how embracing hardship, rather than constantly avoiding it, can spur us to realize our potential. The next major piece of Nietzsche's philosophy, and one that has captured a great deal of public imagination, is his concept of the Ubermensch, often translated as the Overman or Superman. This isn't the comic book hero leaping tall buildings with a red cape, but rather his vision of an elevated human being who has transcended the limitations of ordinary life. Think of the Ubermensch as someone who has broken free from conventional morals and expectations, instead forging a new path guided by their own sense of purpose and creative power. In Nietzsche's mind, the Ubermensch embodies the highest potential of humanity, a person who doesn't shy away from suffering, but integrates it into their pursuit of excellence. While the term might sound intimidating, the basic idea is that the Ubermensch represents a continual process of self-overcoming, a person who uses obstacles and pain as stepping stones rather than as reasons to give up. This figure is not trapped by the rules society sets or by an internal fear of failure. Instead, they create their own values and continually push the boundaries of what's possible for a human being to achieve. For him, suffering is more than just an unfortunate reality in the life of the Ubermensch. It's a powerful catalyst that spurs growth. While ordinary individuals might view adversity as a sign that they've done something wrong or that life is unfair, the Ubermensch sees hardship as a challenge, almost like a gauntlet thrown down by fate. In meeting this challenge head-on, they refine their strengths, develop new skills, and deepen their understanding of themselves and the world around them. This doesn't mean the Ubermensch never feels pain or despair. On the contrary, they likely experience these feelings more intensely because they're so engaged with life. But rather than let suffering control them, they harness its energy to go beyond their previous limits. In other words, the Ubermensch is someone who has learned to alchemize pain into personal power. By confronting life's trials, they come out on the other side with a more profound sense of self and a clearer vision of the values they want to uphold. It's like a blacksmith forging steel. The metal is subjected to immense heat and hammering, but the end result is something stronger and more resilient than before. In many ways, you can see echoes of the Ubermensch in various pop culture heroes, characters who, regardless of whether they know anything about Nietzsche, embody aspects of his philosophy by facing overwhelming challenges and emerging transformed. Think of Bruce Wayne from the Batman franchise. He experiences unimaginable loss as a child, witnessing the murder of his parents. Rather than let that trauma break him, he channels it into becoming a symbol of justice, training himself to the peak of human ability and dedicating his life to protecting others. Although Batman is a fictional creation, the essence of his journey mirrors Nietzsche's ideal. He transforms suffering into purpose. Another example might be Harry Potter, who grows up without his parents and faces constant danger at Hogwarts. He's not a perfect individual. He makes mistakes, feels fear, and endures grief. Yet each setback compels him to dig deeper and fight harder against the evils threatening his world. Over time, those hardships shape him into a leader willing to make sacrifices for what he believes is right. You can also see this theme of rising through adversity in sports stories like the journey of Rocky Balboa in the Rocky films. Rocky's whole story revolves around fighting against the odds, both literal and metaphorical, to prove he can become a champion boxer. His training montages and personal challenges aren't just about boxing, they're about self-transformation, the same kind that underlies Nietzsche's Ubermensch. These characters, while fictional, serve as powerful metaphors for what it means to rise above life's trials. They illustrate the principle that greatness often emerges in the furnace of struggle. Importantly, it's not enough to simply endure pain. The key is to use that pain to reshape yourself, to question old assumptions, and to forge new paths forward. That is precisely what the Ubermensch does. Far from passively accepting suffering, the Ubermensch actively engages with it, seeing it as a puzzle to solve or a resource to tap. This proactive stance contrasts sharply with a more passive approach, where one might just complain about problems or try to escape them through distractions. In modern culture, it's easy to numb discomfort with endless entertainment or to blame society for everything that goes wrong, but those strategies do little to foster inner growth. Nietzsche, by contrast, challenges us to meet hardship with creativity, courage, and a willingness to transform ourselves from the inside out. Another important point is that the Ubermensch isn't born fully formed. It's not as if someone simply wakes up one day as this ideal figure. Instead, he envisioned the Ubermensch as a potential that exists within humans, one that must be cultivated. That's one of the reasons he spoke passionately about self-overcoming. The process of becoming an Ubermensch involves consistently pushing yourself to new heights, questioning hand-me-down beliefs, and refusing to remain stagnant. It's a perpetual evolution, a constant reaffirmation of your own life in the face of everything that might threaten to tear you down. This ties back to the idea that suffering can actually serve as a crucible for personal development. Every time you face a situation that tests your resolve, you have an opportunity to learn something new about your capabilities. You might discover that you're braver than you thought, more resourceful, or more compassionate. Or you might find out where you're lacking and use that knowledge to grow stronger. In either case, suffering becomes less of a dead end and more of a signpost guiding you forward. What's especially important to remember is that he wasn't saying only a handful of chosen people could embody these qualities. Rather, he was issuing a kind of challenge or call to humanity to break free from complacency, from old moral codes that stifle growth, and from the fear of standing out or breaking norms. In his view, each of us has the capacity to aim for something higher than just getting by. If you embrace the mindset of the Ubermensch, you see life not as a series of burdens that wear you down, but as an ongoing opportunity to make yourself and your world better. This doesn't guarantee a life free from pain, quite the opposite. It likely means you'll encounter more resistance, because forging your own path often puts you at odds with traditional thinking or expectations. But the reward, Nietzsche insists, is a depth of personal fulfillment and a sense of self-actualization that can't be matched by merely playing it safe. One of the challenges in understanding him is that some people misinterpret the Ubermensch as a figure who's arrogant or who exercises power over others in a tyrannical way. That's a misunderstanding. The Ubermensch isn't about dominating other people or proving you're superior to them. It's about self-mastery, having such a strong internal compass that outside pressures don't break you. The Ubermensch might clash with society, but not because they crave chaos or destruction. Rather, they do so because they are creating new values that may run counter to the accepted norms of the time. This act of creating values often emerges from a deep personal confrontation with suffering and the realization that the existing moral framework offers no adequate resolution. Instead of being trapped by those limitations, the Ubermensch invents a new, more life-affirming path. At its core, the Ubermensch concept reinforces the main theme we've been discussing. Suffering, if embraced thoughtfully, can be a ladder to something greater. It might be tempting to imagine that a life devoid of pain would be ideal, but Nietzsche saw such a life as shallow and unfulfilled. For him, true greatness emerges in the space where you wrestle with adversity, where you refuse to let disappointment and heartbreak define you. By doing this, you're not just surviving hardship, you're leveraging it for your own evolution. This perspective can dramatically shift the way you respond to challenges in your own life. Instead of thinking, "I wish this never happened to me," you might start asking, "How can I use this experience to become stronger, wiser, and more creative?" The essence of the Ubermensch is therefore the power of transformation. Pain and suffering become raw materials, like clay in the hands of a sculptor. It's your commitment to growth that shapes those materials into something meaningful. When you see a person who has endured unimaginable trials, whether it's losing loved ones, battling illness, or surviving a deeply unjust system, and still emerges with a heart capable of love and a mind capable of envisioning a better future, you are seeing the spirit of the Ubermensch in action. You are seeing an individual who refuses to be crushed by adversity and who uses that adversity as a stepping stone to a richer, more authentic life. The challenge for each of us is to decide whether we want to continue evading suffering or whether we want to face it head on and let it forge us into someone who embodies this higher ideal. That choice, according to Nietzsche, is a radical one. It demands that we abandon the comforts of complacency and the excuses that come with it. But if we accept the call, we discover a sense of purpose and empowerment that only emerges when we test ourselves against life's hardest moments. Much like the heroes in our favorite books and movies, we learn that adversity doesn't have to be the end of our story. It can be the beginning of a new chapter where we discover just how far we can push the boundaries of what it means to be human. One of the most striking ideas you'll find in Nietzsche's philosophy is the concept of Amor Fati, which is often translated as love of fate. This isn't just about accepting your life circumstances grudgingly. It's about welcoming everything that happens to you, both the wonderful and the heartbreaking, with an attitude of genuine affirmation. He believed that to fully embrace life, you have to stop fighting against every setback and disappointment. Instead, you open your arms to the totality of your experience, saying, in essence, yes, this is my life, and I will love it in its entirety. That can sound daunting, especially when we think about the painful realities we often face. The loss of loved ones, failure in school or work, heartbreak or health struggles. Yet, Nietzsche's daring claim is that it's precisely by loving these difficult chapters that we discover a deeper, more resilient sense of self. By choosing to love our fate rather than merely tolerate it, we begin to see that each challenge can sharpen our character and deepen our understanding of what truly matters to us. When you love your fate, you aren't just gritting your teeth and pushing forward. You're saying yes to the life that made you who you are, thorns and all. To understand why loving our fate can make life so much richer, it helps to think about how most of us react to hardship. Typically, we resist it. When things don't go our way, we complain, feel sorry for ourselves, or try to find someone or something to blame. In doing so, we place ourselves in a state of conflict with reality. Instead of working with the situation we're facing, we waste our energy wishing it weren't happening. Amor Fati flips this usual response by inviting us to accept events exactly as they are. But more than mere acceptance, it goes further. It asks us to see the hidden value in every twist and turn of our story. If you reflect honestly on your own life, you may realize that some of your most challenging moments were also the ones that taught you the most important lessons. Maybe failing a crucial exam made you realize you needed better time management or a different career path. Perhaps experiencing heartbreak pushed you to understand yourself better and become more compassionate in future relationships. Amor Fati says, don't just tolerate these events, love them, because they've played a role in shaping the strongest, wisest version of you. When you look at your personal history through this lens, you start to see that even your worst days helped set the stage for new insights, relationships, or directions you'd otherwise never have encountered. But how does one go about embracing fate in a world that often feels uncertain and unfair? The shift begins in your mindset. First, it's crucial to separate acceptance from resignation. Resignation implies giving up, thinking you have no agency or ability to change things. Acceptance, in the sense of Amor Fati, is something completely different. It's the willingness to acknowledge your circumstances fully, without pretending they're different than they are, and then acting in the most constructive way possible. You might say, yes, this situation is difficult, but I can still choose how I respond. By taking ownership of your reaction, by deciding that every event holds a lesson, your attitude shifts from victimhood to empowerment. To illustrate this, imagine you're stuck in traffic on the day of an important interview. The resigned person might boil over with anger, blame the city for bad planning, or give up entirely, convinced they'll miss the opportunity. The person practicing Amor Fati, on the other hand, might think, this is stressful, but what's the best action I can take right now? Maybe I can call ahead, inform them I'll be late, or consider alternative routes. Instead of being paralyzed by the situation, you find a productive way to cope. This approach applies to deeper struggles as well, such as losing a job or going through a painful breakup. By viewing every problem as a lesson, rather than a final verdict on your life, you open the door to personal growth and change. At this point, you might wonder how exactly one can develop the habit of loving their fate, especially when the fate in question involves suffering. A practical first step is to reframe your thoughts about hardship. Instead of saying, why me, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or, how might this experience be guiding me towards something greater? This simple shift in questioning changes your focus from self-pity to self-discovery. Another useful practice is journaling. When you're confronted with adversity, write down what happened and how it made you feel. Then, deliberately look for any positive aspect or potential opportunity that could come out of the situation. It's not about lying to yourself or ignoring real pain. By all means, acknowledge those feelings, but it's about actively seeking something useful within the turmoil. For instance, if you've had a major argument with a friend, you might see it as a chance to develop better communication skills or examine the health of that friendship. If you failed at a project you cared about, you might view that failure as pushing you to acquire new skills or try a different path that suits you better. Another powerful method to cultivate Amor Fati is mindfulness. When you notice yourself sinking into anger or frustration because life isn't going as planned, pause. Take a breath and ask, is there a reason this might be happening? What is this trying to teach me? Mindfulness helps you recognize that your immediate reaction, anger, blame, or sadness, may not be the whole story. Beneath that initial wave of emotion, there could be insights waiting to emerge. You might discover that your disappointment is pointing to an underlying fear or a flawed assumption you've been making. You might also notice that your biggest source of frustration reveals what you care about the most. For example, if you get upset because your creative work gets criticized, it might show you how deeply you value artistic expression and how important it is for you to refine your craft. By taking a mindful look at your emotional responses, you can start rewriting the story you tell yourself about hardship, transitioning from life is unfair to me to life is showing me something important. It's important to note that loving your fate doesn't mean passively accepting every negative condition without seeking change. If you live in an unjust environment, you can still fight for justice. If you're in an unhealthy relationship, you can still walk away. If you're stuck in a harmful habit, you can still break it. What Amor Fati implies is that you don't hate the reality of where you are at this moment. Instead, you see it as a starting point, a raw material that you can work with to shape a better future. By loving your fate, you remove the layer of bitterness that often accompanies adversity, freeing up energy to actually address problems constructively. You're not weighed down by regret or endless what-if scenarios because you've accepted that, for better or worse, this is the life situation you must navigate right now. And with that acceptance comes clarity, determination, and a refusal to let circumstances define your potential. Ultimately, Amor Fati serves as a powerful antidote to despair or cynicism. When things go wrong, it's easy to fall into a downward spiral of negativity, questioning the point of trying at all. Nietzsche's philosophy counters that impulse by reminding us that life is inherently unpredictable and sometimes harsh. The question then becomes, how do we respond? If we choose to love whatever comes our way, even while striving to improve or change our conditions, we foster a mindset that sees possibility in every challenge. This is especially relevant in today's world where constant media messages might make us feel helpless or overwhelmed. By embracing Amor Fati, we start to see ourselves not as passive recipients of fate, but as active participants in our destiny, shaping and reshaping our existence through the way we interpret and engage with our experiences. Imagine you adopt this attitude consistently. Over time, you'd likely notice changes not only in how you deal with setbacks, but in how you approach opportunities. You wouldn't be held back by a fear of failure, because failure itself would be something you love, a chance to refine your path. You might take bigger risks in your career or personal life, knowing that even if things don't work out perfectly, you'll learn something valuable along the way. You might also find yourself being more empathetic to other people's struggles, because once you start loving your own fate, including your hardest moments, you gain a clearer understanding that everyone is wrestling with some burden in life. This empathy can strengthen your relationships and even inspire others to adopt a more constructive outlook. Remember that Amor Fati is ultimately a choice you make every day. It's not about having some mystical control over fate itself, but about controlling your reaction to fate. You decide whether to greet your trials with hatred, indifference, or love. And in choosing love, you're not only dissolving inner resistance that drains your energy, but you're also harnessing each twist of destiny to mold yourself into a more complete, enlightened version of who you can be. One of Nietzsche's most discussed and sometimes misunderstood ideas is the will to power. At its core, this concept speaks to the basic drive inside each of us to expand, achieve, and surpass our current limits. It's not just about raw ambition or wanting to control others. Instead, it's about a fundamental life force that pushes us to continually grow and transform ourselves. He believed that every living thing has some form of this will, from a plant stretching its roots toward water to a student striving to master a musical instrument. But for humans, this drive can become something extraordinary when we recognize it consciously and use it to reshape our lives, especially in the face of struggle. The will to power, then, is that spark that compels you to keep going, to take on new challenges, and to refuse stagnation. It's the inner flame that doesn't just accept what is, but constantly asks, how can I become more than I was yesterday? It's important to note that Nietzsche's will to power is often oversimplified as a lust for domination. That's not exactly what he meant. While some people might express their will to power by trying to control or harm others, he generally saw the healthiest and most admirable form of this will as a drive towards self-overcoming. It's the force that motivates you to master your weaknesses, confront your fears, and surpass your prior achievements. If you've ever felt the satisfaction of finally nailing a tough piece of music you've practiced for months, or overcoming a physical challenge like running a marathon, you've had a taste of what this concept is all about. It's that exhilarating realization that your potential may be greater than you ever imagined, and that the only way to discover it is through persistent effort and resilience. Rather than seeing power as a means to dominate, Nietzsche encourages us to view it as a route to develop our fullest selves. You might wonder how the will to power ties into the theme of suffering and adversity that has been running through these discussions. The answer is that struggle is the very fuel that keeps the will to power alive. Think about times you've grown the most in your own life. Often those leaps forward happened right after a challenging period, a rough patch in school, a difficult job, or a personal crisis. When things are too easy, there's little motivation to change or evolve. You can coast along in your comfort zone, but when adversity strikes, it awakens a deeper determination inside you. You find yourself compelled to solve problems, confront your limitations, and break through barriers you once thought were unbreakable. Nietzsche's insight is that hardships don't just test you, they can actually catalyze your will to power, prompting you to become someone stronger and more capable than before. You can see this dynamic play out in the stories of countless historical figures. Thomas Edison, for example, tested thousands of different materials before finally inventing a successful light bulb. Each failure could have discouraged him, but instead, it seemed to feed his resolve. This is a perfect illustration of harnessing the will to power. Rather than give up in the face of frustration, Edison used every failure as information for his next attempt, eventually transforming the energy of repeated disappointment into the brilliance of a world-changing invention. Another powerful example is Helen Keller, who lost both her hearing and sight at a very young age. Most would have considered her life path hopeless, yet through immense persistence, driven by a will that refused to accept defeat, she not only learned to communicate, but also became an influential author and advocate. Her incredible determination to overcome obstacles illustrates the same principle. Adversity lit a fire inside her that pushed her to exceed every expectation society had for her. One reason the will to power is so intimately linked with greatness is that it encourages a proactive approach to life's hurdles. When you recognize that part of you wants to push past limitations, you stop viewing obstacles as unfair punishments and start seeing them as opportunities to sharpen your skills or clarify your goals. For instance, if you fail an important exam, you might choose to double down on studying, seek help from a tutor, or reconsider your learning strategies. If you suffer from heartbreak, you might use that pain to learn more about your own needs and boundaries, ultimately forming healthier relationships in the future. By actively engaging with your problems, you're effectively saying, I refuse to let this define me. I will grow from this. This is the will to power at work, a steadfast commitment to turning adversity into advantage. To put this into practice, it's useful to cultivate habits that keep the will to power alive in your daily life. One such habit is setting short-term and long-term goals that challenge you just enough to make you stretch. If your targets are too easy, you won't awaken that inner drive. If they're too hard, you might become overwhelmed. But find that sweet spot. Maybe it's training for a 5K run if you've never gone that distance before, or learning a new language at a steady pace, and allow yourself to build confidence through each small victory. Another habit is self-reflection. Take regular stock of where you stand in relation to your ambitions and where you're facing resistance. Ask yourself, how can I use this difficulty to fuel my progress? Or, what part of me can grow from this experience? In doing so, you maintain awareness of your forward momentum and avoid drifting aimlessly. It's also important to surround yourself with people and ideas that inspire you to push beyond your comfort zone. Whether that's friends who share your vision, mentors who have already traveled a similar path, or even books and documentaries about individuals who overcame enormous odds. These influences act like kindling for your will to power. They remind you of what's possible when you refuse to let obstacles have the final say. This doesn't mean you won't stumble or feel discouraged. All of us experience moments when we doubt our capabilities. Yet the key is to harness that doubt and frustration, using it as a wake-up call to refine your approach, seek better resources, or develop stronger mental and emotional resilience. Keep in mind that the will to power isn't about never experiencing pain or never making mistakes. It's about using every moment, good or bad, as a stepping stone towards something greater. This is why Nietzsche emphasized the unity between struggle and achievement. If you never face any challenges, you'll never discover how far you can truly go. Think of it like going to the gym. Without resistance, your muscles don't grow. The same holds true for mental, emotional, and spiritual muscles. Adversity becomes the weight you lift, the tension that ultimately leads to new levels of strength and capability. By repeatedly engaging with challenges, you don't just build external success, you also develop an inner toughness and creativity that carry you through life's unpredictability. Ultimately, the will to power is an invitation to see yourself as more powerful than you might initially believe. Rather than being at the mercy of random circumstances, you are an active participant in shaping your destiny. You might not control every external event, but you do control how you respond. By consistently choosing to meet adversity head-on, recognizing it as a spark to ignite your inner drive, rather than as a sentence to helplessness, you channel the essence of Nietzsche's vision. Every time you decide to learn from a setback, to try one more time after you've failed, or to push your limits even when you're tired or afraid, you are living out the will to power. It's not a magical formula that guarantees immediate success, but it does lay the groundwork for continual self-improvement and the possibility of achieving more than you ever thought possible. When you think of the people who've changed the world for the better, be they civil rights leaders, groundbreaking scientists, pioneering artists, or entrepreneurs who reshaped entire industries, a common thread is this unstoppable drive. Their stories prove that greatness isn't reserved for a select few. Rather, it's a potential that exists in anyone who recognizes adversity as the fuel for progress. This realization resonates with what you've already learned about suffering as a teacher and about embracing your fate wholeheartedly. Each concept we've explored ties into a broader message. Life is demanding and unpredictable, but within that very challenge lies the spark of greatness. The will to power is, in many ways, the engine of that transformation, converting life's inevitable difficulties into a relentless push forward. By tapping into it, You don't just cope with suffering, you redefine it as the force that lifts you to new heights. When we talk about suffering, it's all too easy to focus on how painful and overwhelming it can be. We naturally want to avoid it, minimize it, or remove it altogether. But Friedrich Nietzsche challenges that instinct by framing suffering as a critical test of resilience, an opportunity to gauge and ultimately strengthen your inner fortitude. In his view, the challenges you face are not random punishments but signals that you're stepping into territory where growth is possible. Think of it like a seed in the soil. Only by pushing through the dirt, grappling with darkness, and stretching itself toward the light can it bloom into a plant. You saw suffering as the rich, if sometimes harsh soil that forces you to dig deep and find out just how resilient you really are. This doesn't mean he celebrated misery for misery's sake. Rather, he believed that hardship could be transformed into an ally, reminding you that you're more robust and adaptable than you might imagine. To better understand why Nietzsche placed so much importance on resilience, it helps to consider his broader philosophy. He didn't just accept suffering as inevitable, he embraced it as a powerful catalyst for self-discovery. For him, true resilience wasn't about withstanding adversity without flinching. It was about emerging from difficulty with a stronger sense of self and a clearer perspective on your values. In other words, resilience isn't the same as becoming numb to pain. In fact, it's the opposite. It's allowing yourself to fully experience pain and then using it as fuel to refine your character. Maybe you've come across moments in your own life when you faced a daunting setback, like losing a scholarship or enduring a painful breakup, and discovered that in picking up the pieces, you tapped into reserves of courage and determination you hadn't known you possessed. That revelation, the awareness that you are more capable than you believed, is exactly what Nietzsche wanted us to uncover through the test of suffering. This notion resonates closely with the modern idea known as anti-fragility, a term popularized by author Nassim Nicholas Taleb. While resilient systems are those that can take a hit and return to their original state, anti-fragile systems actually grow stronger and more adaptable when exposed to stressors or uncertainty. Imagine a coffee cup as an example of fragility. If you drop it, it shatters, and no amount of stress can make it better than before. By contrast, our muscles are anti-fragile. When you lift weights or go for a run, you're inflicting stress on your body. If that stress is appropriate and not excessive, your muscles adapt by growing denser, giving you more strength. In a philosophical sense, he viewed the human spirit similarly. He believed we're inherently capable of becoming more powerful, mentally, morally, and spiritually, when we grapple with trials. Each time life knocks us down, we can rebuild ourselves to be a bit tougher, wiser, or more compassionate than before. It's important to note that this transformation doesn't happen automatically. Just as in weightlifting, you need to respond to stress in a way that promotes growth rather than injury. Nietzsche recognized that people can become bitter or cynical when hardships accumulate. The key difference lies in how you interpret and react to life's painful moments. If you curse your circumstances and refuse to learn from them, you might end up more fragile, constantly feeling victimized by the world. But if you approach suffering with the mindset that it can test and refine you, then those challenges become something akin to a training regimen for the soul. Every disappointment, every moment of despair, becomes a spark that can ignite a renewed sense of possibility, provided you choose to see it that way. It's this choice, to interpret suffering as a catalyst rather than as a dead end, that Nietzsche believed separates those who stagnate from those who ascend to new levels of inner strength. At a practical level, Cultivating anti-fragility in your life starts with small, deliberate actions that push you out of your comfort zone, much like gradually adding weight to a barbell over time. For instance, consider taking on tasks that are just beyond your current skill set. Maybe you volunteer to lead a group project when you normally prefer staying in the background. Or perhaps you challenge yourself physically by training for a race, even if you've never considered yourself athletic. By exposing yourself to manageable doses of difficulty, you learn to handle stress more effectively and build confidence in your ability to adapt. Over time, these incremental experiences add up, making you more equipped to face bigger obstacles without crumbling. In essence, you're practicing Nietzsche's vision of using suffering, or at least purposeful struggle, as a tool for growth. The more you do it, the more you realize that many limitations exist primarily in your mind, and adversity is sometimes just the nudge you need to break through them. But resilience also involves acknowledging the emotional weight that suffering can bring. He never insisted on denying or repressing feelings like sadness, anger, or disappointment. On the contrary, he believed it was vital to confront those emotions honestly. True resilience means allowing yourself to feel pain, to mourn losses, and to grieve over missed opportunities. Yet it also means not stopping there. After that period of emotional processing, resilience nudges you to ask, what can I learn from this? How can this experience sharpen my self-understanding or clarify my goals? The willingness to explore these questions candidly is what transforms raw hurt into a stepping stone for future growth. Without that willingness, suffering can calcify into resentment or self-pity, which stands in direct opposition to Nietzsche's call for self-overcoming. Moreover, his view of suffering as a test of resilience dovetails with the concept of self-ownership. He frequently wrote about taking responsibility for your own evolution, rather than waiting for external forces to fix your problems. When life strikes you down, no one else can decide how you'll respond. You might look for sympathy, or you might try to blame external events. But ultimately, it's up to you to interpret your hardships in a way that fosters growth. This act of self-interpretation is central to Nietzsche's thought, illustrating how subjective experience and personal accountability weave together. If you consider yourself merely a victim of circumstance, you surrender your power to adversity. However, if you view yourself as an active participant in the narrative, someone capable of turning each setback into a new source of motivation, then you activate that inner resilience he believed was latent in all of us. Another angle to consider is how our cultural environment influences resilience. He famously critiqued societies that prioritize comfort and security above all else. In such environments, people can become overly sheltered, losing the psychological muscles needed to endure and learn from hardship. Think about how modern conveniences sometimes lead us to avoid challenges. We have apps that deliver our meals, cars that do half our driving, and algorithms that feed us endless entertainment. While these innovations make life easier, they can also dull our capacity to deal with the unpredictable. Nietzsche's emphasis on resilience serves as a wake-up call. If we never face tension or conflict, we might forget how resilient we can be. Anti-fragility, growing stronger through pressure, requires some form of pressure to begin with. So, it's often worthwhile to step outside of the bubble of comfort, whether that means traveling to unfamiliar places, picking up a new skill that initially feels daunting, or engaging in thoughtful debates that challenge your perspectives. Some people may worry that emphasizing suffering and resilience implies a grim, masochistic outlook on life, but Nietzsche's stance is more nuanced than that. He doesn't suggest going out of your way to seek pain at every turn. Instead, he points out that suffering is already an inevitable part of the human experience. Given that reality, why not approach adversity in a way that benefits you? Why not use those moments to test and expand your capacities, turning them into catalysts for a stronger, more insightful self? In this sense, His philosophy is less about glorifying pain and more about urging us to see every aspect of life, even the painful parts, as essential ingredients in the grand project of self-discovery. By adopting this mindset, you avoid the trap of seeing life as an endless series of unfortunate events. Instead, each challenge becomes another rung on the ladder of growth, reminding you of the resilience you already hold within. This perspective also dovetails with the broader theme of personal agency running through Nietzsche's work. If you look at your sufferings as random punishments without meaning, you'll likely feel helpless and bitter. But if you choose to interpret them as necessary trials that can guide you toward maturity and understanding, you reclaim your agency. Every setback becomes a prompt to ask, where can I go from here? Or, how can I use this experience to become more capable and self-aware? This reframing shifts the emotional weight of suffering, transforming it from a shackle into a key that can unlock new dimensions of yourself. It's a bold philosophical stance, but one that has resonated with countless readers who have discovered just how empowering it can be to see adversity not as an end, but as a beginning, a chance to craft a narrative of resilience and self-invention. In the end, resilience through suffering, as Nietzsche imagined it, isn't about pretending adversity doesn't hurt. It's about recognizing that pain can serve as a powerful mirror, reflecting your innermost strengths and weaknesses back to you. When you stare into that mirror, you can either turn away in fear or use the reflection to correct course and push onward. Anti-fragility takes that idea a step further, suggesting that each wave of difficulty can make you more adaptable, more perceptive, and more prepared for the next challenge. This is how you evolve, not by living a life free of burdens, but by learning to carry those burdens with an unshakable determination. His message is that inside every moment of hardship lies a test of your resilience, a test that, once passed, lifts you to new levels of self-assurance and capability. Embrace that test, and you transform suffering from a source of defeat into the very crucible that shapes your most powerful self. As we arrive at the final part of this exploration into Friedrich Nietzsche's perspective on suffering, let's step back and gather all the threads we've woven together. If there's one takeaway from everything we've discussed about the necessity of hardship, the power of embracing our fate, and the drive to overcome adversity, it's that suffering isn't the end, but rather the beginning of greatness. He never promised that the path would be smooth or painless. In fact, he insisted it would be anything but. Yet he also believed that these very struggles carry within them the potential for profound transformation. When we confront pain head-on, learning from it, adapting to it, and using it as a springboard, we uncover reservoirs of strength and creativity that remain hidden in comfortable times. We've seen that Nietzsche's concept of the Ubermensch, or overman, is grounded in the idea that human beings thrive by continually surpassing themselves. This vision extends naturally to the principle of Amor Fati, loving one's fate, which invites us to welcome every twist of life, even the ones that cut the deepest. Meanwhile, the will to power offers a glimpse of that inner drive, compelling us to keep growing, while resilience through suffering underscores how adversity can be the fire that forges an indestructible spirit. In each of these ideas, the message rings clear. True greatness isn't handed to us on a silver platter, but earned in the crucible of our hardest moments. What does that mean for you? Perhaps you've gone through heartbreak, academic failure, or financial hurdles, and you've questioned your own worth. His answer would be that your worth isn't diminished by hardship. It can actually be revealed and enhanced by it, provided you choose to interpret your pain not as a sentence of doom, but as a call to self-overcoming. The greatest achievements in history, be they artistic masterpieces, scientific breakthroughs, or acts of social courage, are so often shaped by adversity. That adversity forces us to innovate, to reassess our assumptions, and to craft new paths forward. By adopting this mindset, you free yourself from the limiting belief that suffering is merely destructive. Instead, you see it as a powerful teacher, a relentless mentor that pushes you to evolve. Nietzsche's framework is not about glamorizing pain for its own sake, it's about recognizing the possibility buried within it. In a way, it's an optimistic philosophy, rooted in the conviction that no setback is truly final unless you allow it to be. Every defeat can be a beginning, every disappointment a signpost, guiding you toward a deeper understanding of what matters most to you. If you remember only one thing from this entire journey through his thought, let it be this: pain does not negate your potential, it can ignite it. Let us close with a line that sums up Nietzsche's faith in our ability to find meaning amid life's turbulence. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Carry that message with you. Let your why be the beacon that illuminates your darkest hours, reminding you that in every trial lies the seed of your own greatness. You can only fight the way you practice. Miyamoto Musashi. Picture this. The first light of dawn barely breaks the horizon. A lone samurai stands in the mist, gripping a wooden training sword, his breath steady, his mind sharp. Every movement is precise, refined through years of relentless practice. He doesn't train for battle, he trains for life. Because to Musashi, there was no separation between training and living. The way you practice, the way you think, the way you approach each moment, this is what determines your fate. This is the difference between victory and defeat, between self-mastery and self-destruction. But what if this idea applied to more than just sword fighting? What if mastering yourself was the key to mastering everything in life? What if the battles we face daily, self-doubt, distractions, fear, could be won the same way Musashi won his legendary duels? Imagine if we approached our lives with the same level of discipline, strategy, and control that he brought to every fight. How different would our lives be? Miyamoto Musashi wasn't just a warrior, he was a philosopher of life itself. He fought over 60 duels and never lost. But his greatest battle wasn't against another swordsman, it was against himself. He spent his life refining a philosophy of discipline, adaptability, and relentless self-improvement, believing that the real enemy is not an opponent, but the weaknesses within us. Hesitation, laziness, and fear. His teachings go beyond the battlefield, offering a roadmap for mastering the mind, emotions, and actions. We're going to explore how his philosophy can help you master yourself and, by extension, master your life. At first glance, you might think Musashi's philosophy is only relevant to warriors or martial artists. After all, he lived in a time of samurai and sword duels. What does that have to do with modern life? But if you look deeper, you'll see that his philosophy isn't about combat, it's about life itself. His lessons are universal, applying to business, creativity, self-improvement, and mental toughness. He understood that the real battle is not fought with weapons, it is fought within the mind. The struggles we face today, procrastination, self-doubt, fear of failure, are just different versions of the battles he faced on the battlefield. The principles he lived by can help anyone overcome their personal obstacles and achieve excellence in any field. One of Musashi's key teachings is self-discipline. In a world full of distractions, where instant gratification is just a click away, discipline is rare, but it is also the foundation of success. He rejected comfort, avoided luxuries, and committed himself fully to his path. He believed that true mastery requires sacrifice. He wrote, "Do nothing that is of no use." This means cutting out everything that doesn't serve your purpose, whether it's time-wasting habits, toxic relationships, or mental clutter. In today's world, this might mean limiting social media, avoiding mindless entertainment, and focusing on what truly moves you forward. If you don't discipline yourself, the world will distract you into mediocrity. Another crucial lesson from Musashi is mental toughness. He believed that fear and emotion were the biggest obstacles to success. He once said, "You should accept death in your heart every day." This doesn't mean being obsessed with mortality. It means understanding that fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of discomfort are illusions. The moment you stop fearing failure, you become unstoppable. He entered every duel with a calm, focused mind, knowing that hesitation or doubt could mean death. In the modern world, this same mindset can help you take action, make bold decisions, and push through challenges without being paralyzed by fear. Whether it's starting a new project, making a difficult life decision, or standing up for yourself, the ability to act without hesitation is a skill that sets successful people apart. He also taught the importance of mastery, not just of a skill, but of oneself. He believed that mastery was a lifelong process, requiring constant learning, refinement, and self-awareness. He wrote, "From one thing, know 10,000 things." This means that when you truly master one discipline, whether it's martial arts, writing, business, or any craft, you gain insights that apply to everything else in life. The way you approach training, practice, and discipline in one area reflects how you handle challenges in all areas. This is why the best athletes, artists, and entrepreneurs all follow rigid routines and lifelong learning. They don't see mastery as a destination, they see it as a process that never ends. One of Musashi's greatest contributions to philosophy is the Book of Five Rings. Written in his final years, this book is not just about sword fighting, it's a manual for strategy, discipline, and life mastery. It is still studied today by business leaders, military strategists, and personal development experts. The book is divided into 5 sections, each representing a different element. Earth, the basics; water, adaptability; fire, aggression and conflict; wind, understanding others; and void, intuition and flow state. These principles can be applied to decision-making, leadership, creativity, and personal growth. He believed that by understanding the way of strategy, you can succeed in any area of life. So why does Musashi's philosophy still matter today? Because it teaches us how to master our thoughts, actions, and emotions. It teaches us how to build discipline, focus, and resilience in a world full of distractions and uncertainty. He lived by the idea that the way is in training. Success isn't about luck or talent, it's about the daily habits and mindset you cultivate over time. And if you want to achieve anything great in life, you must apply the same level of commitment, discipline, and strategy that Musashi did. Miyamoto Musashi was born in 1584, during a time when Japan was engulfed in constant war. This period, known as the Sengoku Jidai, the Warring States era, was one of the most violent in Japanese history. Samurai clans fought endlessly for power, and the way of the sword was not just a skill, it was a means of survival. From an early age, he was thrown into this world of conflict, where life and death were separated by the sharp edge of a blade. Unlike most children of his time who were raised in noble samurai families under the guidance of established dojos, martial arts schools, his upbringing was different. His father, Shinmen Munisai, was a skilled swordsman and an expert in combat. But he did not grow up in a luxurious environment. He was raised in the rugged mountains of Japan, away from the refined teachings of the traditional samurai class. His early exposure to solitude and self-reliance would later shape his philosophy of discipline, adaptability, and self-mastery. Musashi's first recorded duel happened when he was just 13 years old. Most boys at this age were still in training, learning the basics of sword fighting under experienced instructors. But Musashi, with little formal training, was already prepared to fight a full-grown, battle-tested samurai. His opponent, Arima Kihei, was a skilled warrior from a well-respected school of combat. Confident in his abilities, Arima did not take him seriously. He expected an easy victory, but Musashi had something far more dangerous than experience. He had absolute determination and an unshakable mindset. Armed with nothing but a wooden sword, he attacked Arima with overwhelming ferocity, knocking him to the ground and beating him to death. This was the moment Musashi realized that a duel was not just about skill, it was about strategy, aggression, and psychological control. The fight didn't last long, but it changed the course of his life forever. After his first duel, Musashi chose the life of a ronin, a masterless samurai. At a time when most warriors sought the protection of powerful lords and prestigious schools, he rejected the comforts of servitude. He refused to be tied down by the rigid rules of samurai culture. Instead, he dedicated himself to wandering Japan, seeking challenges and refining his own fighting style. He had no home, no wealth, and no master, only his sword and his relentless will to improve. This decision set him apart from other warriors of his time. While most samurai followed strict traditions, he believed that true mastery came from direct experience, not theoretical learning. He fought duel after duel, each time testing new strategies and sharpening his instincts. One of the most defining moments in his early life was his experience at the Battle of Sekigahara in 1600. This was one of the most brutal battles in Japanese history, where over 160,000 samurai clashed in a fight that determined the future of Japan. Musashi, still a young warrior, fought on the losing side. He witnessed firsthand the horrors of large-scale war, not just the skillful duels of honor he had trained for, but the sheer chaos, bloodshed, and unpredictability of battle. This experience hardened him. It reinforced his belief that survival required more than just strength. It required strategy, adaptability, and a mindset free from hesitation or attachment. Unlike many warriors who sought glory in battle, he began to see combat as something far more profound, a test of mind over matter, where the ultimate victory was not over an opponent but over oneself. By the time he reached his late 20s, he had already built a legendary reputation as an undefeated swordsman. He had fought and won dozens of duels, each time refining his techniques and sharpening his strategic mind. But his most famous duel, the one that would cement his place in history, was against Sasaki Kojiro, one of the greatest swordsmen of the time. Kojiro was not just any opponent. He was an elite warrior, known for his unparalleled speed and precision. He wielded a nodachi, a long razor-sharp sword nearly as tall as a man, and had perfected a technique called the swallow cut, an attack so fast and lethal that it was said no one could defend against it. For Musashi, this was not just another duel. It was the ultimate test of his philosophy. The duel was set to take place on Ganryu Island in 1612, but Musashi, always thinking beyond the surface, knew that winning wasn't just about skill, it was about controlling the battlefield, the timing, and even the emotions of his opponent. Instead of arriving on time, he deliberately showed up late, keeping Kojiro waiting and building frustration within him. While most samurai saw punctuality as a sign of respect, Musashi saw it as an opportunity for psychological warfare. By the time he finally arrived, rowing himself to the island on a small boat, Kojiro was already emotionally charged, impatient, and eager to attack. But his strategy didn't stop there. Instead of using a traditional katana, he carved a wooden sword from an oar during his journey to the island. This weapon was longer than Kojiro's nodachi, giving Musashi a crucial reach advantage. He had studied Kojiro's fighting style, understanding that his opponent relied on speed and precision. But Musashi also knew that a well-placed first strike would decide the fight. The moment Kojiro drew his sword, Musashi struck with incredible speed and force, landing a single decisive blow to Kojiro's head. Before Kojiro could even react, he was already dead. This duel was more than just a display of superior skill. It was a masterclass in strategy, adaptability, and psychological warfare. He understood something that many warriors fail to grasp. Battles are won in the mind before they are won on the battlefield. While Kojiro relied on his legendary technique, he used timing, misdirection, and preparation to control the fight before it even began. He didn't just defeat Kojiro physically, he defeated him mentally, long before the first strike was ever thrown. The duel at Ganryu Island wasn't just the peak of Musashi's swordsmanship, it was a turning point in his life. After this fight, he gradually stepped away from dueling, realizing that true mastery was not about proving superiority over others, but about achieving complete self-control and understanding the deeper truths of existence. He turned to philosophy, art, and writing, distilling his life's lessons into the Book of Five Rings. Instead of continuing to seek out opponents, he sought to master himself, believing that the greatest battles were not fought with swords, but within the mind. Musashi's duel with Kojiro teaches us one of the most valuable lessons of all. The mind is the most powerful weapon you possess. In life, brute force will only get you so far. Success is not about being the strongest, it's about being the smartest, the most adaptable, and the most prepared. Whether in business, relationships, or personal development, the ability to outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast your challenges is what leads to victory. And just like Musashi, those who master themselves will find that they no longer need to prove anything to anyone, because they have already won the most important battle of all. In the final years of his life, Miyamoto Musashi withdrew from society and lived in solitude. He had already proven himself as a warrior, strategist, and philosopher, but as he aged, his focus shifted towards something deeper, a way of life that went beyond battle and competition. Shortly before his death in 1645, he wrote a document titled Dokodo, which translates to The Way of Walking Alone. This was a list of 21 principles that reflected his philosophy on life, self-mastery, and detachment from worldly distractions. Unlike the Book of Five Rings, which was written for warriors and strategists, Dokodo was deeply personal. It wasn't about winning fights, it was about how to live with discipline, purpose, and freedom from attachment. One of the core themes of Dokodo is discipline and detachment. He believed that desires, whether for wealth, pleasure, or approval, were the greatest enemies of self-mastery. He understood that if your happiness depends on external things, you are not truly in control of your own life. His first principle states, accept everything just the way it is. This doesn't mean giving up or being passive. Rather, it means understanding that life is unpredictable, and resisting reality only leads to suffering. Many people waste their energy complaining about things they cannot change, but he teaches us that real strength comes from accepting life as it is and making the best of it. Instead of being frustrated by circumstances, we should adapt, learn, and move forward without being emotionally disturbed. Another powerful lesson from Dokodo is self-reliance. He had spent most of his life as a ronin, a masterless samurai, traveling alone and relying only on his own skills and wisdom. He believed that independence was key to personal freedom. In today's world, this means not depending on others for your happiness, security, or sense of self-worth. Many people feel lost without validation from others, whether it's social media likes, approval from friends and family, or external success. But Musashi teaches that true confidence comes from within. If you rely too much on external things, whether it's money, status, or relationships, you become vulnerable to disappointment and control. This idea of detachment extends to comfort and material possessions. One of the principles in Dokodo states, "Do not seek pleasure for its own sake." Musashi understood that chasing comfort leads to weakness. Today, we live in a world of instant gratification, entertainment, fast food, and easy pleasures are available at all times. But when you constantly seek comfort, you lose the ability to handle difficulty and discipline yourself. He believed that the path to mastery requires sacrifice, choosing what is hard over what is easy. This doesn't mean you should never enjoy life, but rather that you shouldn't let temporary pleasures control you. If you want to master yourself, you must learn to delay gratification, embrace challenges, and stay focused on long-term goals. One of the most striking principles in Dokodo states, "Do not be saddened by separation." This reflects his belief in emotional discipline. He understood that everything in life is temporary. People, relationships, successes, and failures all come and go. Most people suffer because they become too attached to things that are beyond their control. He teaches that if you want to be truly free, you must let go of attachment. This doesn't mean you shouldn't love or care for others, but that you should not cling to things out of fear or insecurity. In modern life, this can mean letting go of toxic relationships, moving on from past failures, and not letting external events dictate your inner peace. Another key aspect of Dokodo is simplicity and minimalism. Musashi believed that excess was a distraction. He lived with few possessions, avoided luxury, and focused only on what was necessary. One of his principles states, "Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need." In today's world, we are surrounded by materialism. People constantly chase the newest gadgets, cars, and designer clothes, believing that these things will bring happiness. But he teaches that possessions should serve a purpose, not define who you are. The more you own, the more you are controlled by what you own. True freedom comes from owning less and focusing on what truly matters. The final and perhaps most important theme in Dokodo is living with purpose. Musashi wrote, "Do not act following customary beliefs." This means don't just follow what society expects of you, think for yourself, and carve your own path. Many people go through life doing what they are told, following the traditional route of school, job, marriage, without questioning if it truly aligns with their purpose. He teaches that real mastery comes from knowing yourself, defining your own path, and committing fully to it. This requires courage, independence, and a willingness to stand alone. So how can we apply Musashi's Dokodo to modern life? The first step is detaching from distractions and superficial validation. In today's world, attention is the most valuable currency, and companies constantly fight for your focus through social media, advertisements, and endless entertainment. If you want to master yourself, you must learn to guard your attention and focus on what truly matters. This means limiting social media, avoiding mindless distractions, and dedicating time to personal growth. Instead of scrolling endlessly on your phone, use that time to read, train, or develop a skill. He would say, "Do nothing that is of no use." If something isn't helping you grow, it's only slowing you down. Another way to apply Dokodo is to embrace discomfort. Instead of seeking constant pleasure and entertainment, challenge yourself daily. Take cold showers, wake up early, train your body and mind, and push beyond your comfort zone. He believed that discipline is built through consistent hardship. The more you expose yourself to difficulty, the stronger you become. Comfort makes people weak, struggle makes them strong. Self-reliance is another crucial lesson. This means taking full responsibility for your life, your failures, your successes, and your mindset. Many people blame others for their circumstances, but Musashi would argue that the only person responsible for your path is you. Stop waiting for others to save you, to validate you, or to give you permission. If you want something, train for it, work for it, and claim it. He didn't wait for a master to teach him. He learned through experience, observation, and relentless effort. Finally, live with purpose and detachment. Don't hold on to things that don't serve you. Let go of past failures, unhealthy relationships, and pointless distractions. Focus only on what moves you forward. Musashi lived by the belief that every action should have purpose, every moment should be meaningful. This means cutting out anything that isn't aligned with your growth and mastery. Musashi's Dokudo is more than just a list of rules. It is a blueprint for self-mastery. It teaches us that life is not about chasing comfort, validation, or external success. It is about discipline, independence, and living with purpose. In a world that constantly tries to pull you in 1,000 directions, his philosophy is a reminder that true mastery starts within. If you can control your desires, focus your mind, and detach from unnecessary distractions, you will become unstoppable. The real battle is not against an opponent, it is against yourself. And if you can master yourself, you can master anything. Miyamoto Musashi's The Book of Five Rings is one of the most profound guides to mastery ever written. It is not just a book about sword fighting, it is a manual for understanding strategy, discipline, and self-mastery in all aspects of life. Written in 1645, shortly before his death, the book is divided into 5 sections, each representing an element in nature: earth, water, fire, wind, and void. These elements symbolize different aspects of learning, adaptation, struggle, perspective, and ultimate mastery. He believed that by understanding these 5 principles, a person could achieve excellence in combat, business, personal growth, and any skill they choose to master. Unlike many philosophical texts, the Book of Five Rings is brutally practical. Musashi did not believe in complicated theories or abstract ideas that had no real-world application. His philosophy was grounded in direct experience. Everything he taught came from a life of combat, observation, and deep self-discipline. His main belief was simple: if you master yourself, you can master anything. Each of the 5 books within the text teaches a different lesson, and together they form a complete path to self-mastery. Do nothing that is of no use. The ground book is the foundation of all mastery. Just as a house must be built on solid ground, so must skill and wisdom be built upon strong fundamentals. Musashi believed that before a person could achieve greatness, they had to first master the basics. Whether in martial arts, business, creativity, or self-improvement, success comes not from chasing complicated techniques, but from deeply understanding the core principles. In today's world, many people look for shortcuts. They want to skip the fundamentals and jump straight to advanced techniques. They chase hacks, trends, and quick fixes, believing that success comes from a secret formula. But he understood that, without mastery of the basics, advanced skills are meaningless. This is why professional athletes train the same movements thousands of times, and why great musicians practice simple scales daily. The same applies to business, personal growth, and any field of mastery. Excellence is built on small, repeated actions over time. So how do we apply this in the modern world? The first step is to eliminate distractions. Musashi warned against wasting time on things that don't contribute to your growth. Today, this means cutting out mindless entertainment, social media addictions, and negative habits that do not serve your long-term goals. Instead, focus on deep work and deliberate practice, the kind of effort that leads to real improvement. If you are learning a skill, do not rush. Commit to mastering the basics one step at a time. The Water Book. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Water is formless. It takes the shape of whatever contains it, flowing effortlessly around obstacles. This is the lesson of the Water Book, the importance of adaptability and flexibility. Musashi believed that true mastery was not about rigidly following one path, but about learning to adjust, evolve, and respond to any situation. Many people fail in life because they refuse to adapt. They cling to outdated beliefs, resist change, and fear stepping outside their comfort zone. He saw this as a fatal weakness. A warrior who only knows one way to fight will be easily defeated by someone who can adjust their tactics on the spot. The same principle applies in today's world. Those who resist change get left behind, while those who adapt continue to grow. To apply this in modern life, one must develop a growth mindset. Instead of fearing failure, see every mistake as a lesson. Be open to new perspectives, new knowledge, and new ways of thinking. In business, this means being willing to pivot and adjust strategies. In relationships, it means listening and understanding different viewpoints. In personal development, it means continuously evolving, never becoming complacent. The most successful people in any field are not the strongest or the smartest. They are the ones who adapt the fastest. Perceive that which cannot be seen. Fire represents struggle, adversity, and conflict. It is the test of one's resilience, mindset, and ability to endure hardship. In combat, fire is the intensity of battle, the moment when everything is on the line. But in life, fire is the challenges we face, the obstacles, failures, and hardships that test our strength. Musashi believed that true mastery is forged in struggle. A person who has never faced difficulty will crumble the moment they are tested. Most people fear struggle. They avoid discomfort, seek easy paths, and give up when things get hard. But he knew that challenges are what create strength. Just as a sword is tempered by fire, a person's character is shaped by adversity. The key is not to run from struggle, but to embrace it, learn from it, and use it as fuel for growth. How do we apply this? First, develop resilience. Train yourself to stay calm under pressure. When facing difficulties, shift your mindset. Instead of seeing failure as a setback, see it as part of the learning process. Every challenge contains a hidden lesson. Those who embrace struggle grow stronger, while those who avoid it remain weak. To know 10,000 things, know one well. The Wind Book teaches the importance of studying different perspectives. Musashi believed that to become a true master, you must not only understand yourself, but also the world around you. He studied many schools of combat, learning not just his own style, but also the techniques of his enemies. By understanding their weaknesses, he could always gain the upper hand. In today's world, this lesson applies to business, relationships, leadership, and personal growth. If you want to succeed, you must not just focus on yourself, you must understand the perspectives of others. Great leaders study psychology to better lead people. Great entrepreneurs study their competitors to find advantages. Great thinkers study different philosophies to expand their wisdom. A practical way to apply this is to never stop learning. Read widely, study philosophy, business, psychology, and science. Listen to different opinions, even if you disagree. The more perspectives you understand, the sharper your mind becomes. True intelligence comes not from knowing one thing deeply, but from seeing how all things are connected. By knowing things that exist, you can know that which does not exist. The void book represents the highest level of mastery, the state of mushin, no mind. This is a state of complete flow, total presence, and effortless action. In combat, it is the moment where the swordsman acts without thinking, moving purely on instinct. In life, it is the ability to perform at your best without hesitation or self-doubt. Many people overthink. They hesitate, second-guess, and get stuck in their own heads. But Musashi teaches that the highest level of mastery is to let go of conscious thought and trust your training. This applies to sports, business, creativity, and personal growth. The best athletes enter flow state, where they react without thinking. The best musicians play with feeling, not calculation. The best entrepreneurs make bold decisions without fear. To apply this, train your mind through meditation and mindfulness. Learn to quiet the noise in your head and focus on the present moment. Trust your instincts. Mastery is not about thinking, it is about being. Miyamoto Musashi's teachings are not just ancient wisdom meant for warriors of the past. His philosophy applies to the modern world as much as it did in feudal Japan. His principles of discipline, mental toughness, and detachment can help anyone, whether you're an entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or just someone trying to improve their life. Discipline and daily habits. One of the most defining aspects of Musashi's life was his unwavering discipline. He was a man of simplicity, he owned very few possessions, avoided luxury, and lived a highly structured life. Unlike many samurai who were deeply embedded in the political and social circles of their time, he chose a different path. He focused entirely on training, self-improvement, and refinement of his craft. This wasn't just about sword fighting. It was a philosophy of life. He understood that the key to mastery wasn't motivation or talent, but consistent, disciplined effort over time. In today's world, most people struggle with distractions and inconsistency. We live in a time where instant gratification is everywhere. Endless entertainment, social media, fast food, and comfort at every turn. It's easy to lose focus, to procrastinate, and to fall into bad habits. But he teaches us that discipline is the foundation of success. If you cannot control your habits, you cannot control your life. This means building strong daily rituals that reinforce your focus and commitment to improvement. A practical way to apply this is through morning routines. Many successful people today follow a structured morning ritual that sets the tone for their day. This can include meditation, journaling, exercise, or focused deep work. The goal is to start the day with clarity and purpose, rather than falling into distraction. Another key practice is eliminating excess. Musashi believed that too many possessions and comforts made people weak. Today, this means decluttering not just your physical space, but also your mental space. Remove distractions from your environment, cut out unnecessary commitments, and focus only on what truly matters. The most important lesson here is that discipline is a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. You don't need to make dramatic changes overnight, but you should commit to small, consistent improvements. Whether it's waking up earlier, setting aside time for focused work, or removing distractions from your life, the key is repetition and commitment. He lived by the idea that the way is in training, meaning that self-mastery is built through daily practice, not occasional bursts of effort. If you want to become great at anything, you must make it a habit. Mental toughness and overcoming fear. Musashi believed that fear is an illusion created by the mind. Throughout his life, he faced countless battles where hesitation or doubt could mean death. He understood that the difference between winning and losing was not just skill, but mindset. He once wrote that a warrior should accept death in his heart every day, not as a morbid thought, but as a way to remove fear. This allowed him to fight with calmness and precision, while his enemies were often paralyzed by anxiety. In the modern world, fear still holds people back, not from duels with swords, but from taking action in life. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of discomfort, these mental barriers stop people from reaching their potential. But just like in battle, 80% of success is mental. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your actions. The problem is that most people let fear dictate their decisions. They avoid challenges, play it safe, and never push beyond their comfort zones. Musashi teaches us that fear only has power if you let it. So how do we apply this? One powerful method is voluntary discomfort, deliberately putting yourself in situations that are uncomfortable so that you can train your mind to handle stress. This can include cold showers, fasting, silence, or intense physical training. These practices help you build mental resilience by teaching you that discomfort is temporary and can be controlled. Another method is to face fears head-on. Instead of avoiding difficult situations, confront them directly. The more you expose yourself to fear, the less control it has over you. Whether it's public speaking, taking a risk in business, or standing up for yourself, the only way to conquer fear is through action. He teaches that the strongest warriors are not the ones who never feel fear, but the ones who learn to move forward despite it. In life, fear will always be present, but it is your choice whether to be controlled by it or to overcome it. If you train your mind to see challenges as opportunities for growth, fear transforms from an obstacle into a tool for success. The art of detachment. One of Musashi's most powerful lessons is the importance of detachment. He believed that emotions, especially desire and attachment, were dangerous because they clouded judgment. A warrior who fights with emotion rather than strategy is reckless. A person who is too attached to outcomes, people, or material things becomes vulnerable. True mastery comes from staying rational, disciplined, and in control of your mind. This does not mean he was against love or human connection. Rather, he warned against allowing emotions to control your actions. In relationships, this can mean not becoming obsessed with someone to the point where you lose yourself. Many people get caught in toxic relationships because they fear being alone or because they become too emotionally attached to an unhealthy situation. Musashi would say, "Learn to love, but never lose your sense of self." In business, detachment means not being ruled by greed, ego, or short-term thinking. Many people make bad decisions because they let emotions override logic, whether it's making impulsive investments, chasing trends, or refusing to adapt when something isn't working. The modern application of this principle is deeply connected to Stoic philosophy, which teaches that we should only focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. If something is outside your power, whether it's other people's opinions, past mistakes, or uncontrollable events, it is wasted energy to be attached to it. Instead, focus on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and your decisions. One practical way to cultivate detachment is through meditation and journaling. Musashi spent long hours alone, reflecting on his thoughts and emotions, sharpening his mind like a sword. Today, many successful people follow this practice, taking time each day to clear their minds, reflect, and gain perspective. Another method is to pause before reacting emotionally. When something upsets you, instead of reacting immediately, take a deep breath and assess the situation logically. Detachment is a skill. It takes practice, but once mastered, it gives you freedom from impulsive reactions and emotional instability. Ultimately, his philosophy teaches that those who are ruled by their emotions are controlled by external forces, while those who cultivate detachment remain steady in all situations. If you can learn to stay calm, disciplined, and focused, no matter what happens, you will become unshakable. and when you are unshakable, you become truly free. Musashi's wisdom is timeless. His lessons on discipline, mental toughness, and detachment apply just as much to modern life as they did in the age of the samurai. If you can learn to build strong daily habits, overcome fear, and detach from unnecessary emotions, you will gain a level of control over your life that few people ever achieve. Mastery is not about being perfect. It is about constant improvement, training, and self-awareness. He understood that the battle is never against the outside world. It is always against the weaknesses within yourself. If you can master your mind, you can master your life. And in the words of Musashi himself, the way is in training. The question is, are you willing to walk the path? As we come to the end of this deep exploration of Miyamoto Musashi's philosophy, one thing becomes clear. Mastery is not about achieving perfection, but about the relentless pursuit of progress. Musashi himself never claimed to be perfect. Even after winning over 60 duels, after writing the Book of Five Rings, after spending decades honing his craft, he still believed that the path to self-mastery never truly ends. This is one of the greatest lessons we can take from him. There is no final destination in mastery, only the journey. His entire life was a testament to this idea. He trained every single day, refining his skills, sharpening his mind, and developing his discipline. He didn't wait for the perfect moment to act. He simply trained, learned, and adapted. This is why he said, "The way is in training." It means that mastery is not something you achieve once and then move on. It is something you commit to daily through small, consistent actions. Whether it is mastering a skill, improving your mindset, or strengthening your body, the key is to show up every day and do the work. This is where most people go wrong. They expect success to come quickly. They want instant results, instant improvement, instant mastery. But his life proves that the path to greatness is slow, demanding, and often uncomfortable. It requires patience, discipline, and the ability to embrace the process, even when progress feels invisible. True mastery is not about talent, it is about commitment. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. Some people give up when things get difficult, while others keep going, no matter what. Another critical lesson we can take from Musashi is the idea that self-mastery leads to life mastery. Everything starts from within, your thoughts, your habits, your discipline. If you cannot master yourself, you will always be controlled by external forces, by distractions, by emotions, by the opinions of others. But when you develop discipline, resilience, and adaptability, you become the master of your own destiny. You stop making excuses, you stop being reactive, and you start taking control of your actions, your decisions, and ultimately, your future. This is why his philosophy remains so powerful today. He was not just a swordsman, he was a philosopher, strategist, and student of life. His lessons applied to business, relationships, creativity, personal growth, and every challenge we face in modern life. He teaches us that fear is an illusion, discipline is freedom, and success is a result of daily effort, not luck. I want you to ask yourself one simple question. Are you walking the path of mastery, or are you waiting for the perfect moment to begin? Because the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is only now. The only way to get better at anything, your craft, your mindset, your life, is to start training today. The way is in training. To close, I'll leave you with one final quote from Musashi. Today is victory over yourself of yesterday. Tomorrow is your victory over lesser men. The real battle is always within. Master yourself and you will master your life.